People deluded, I'm back again. Good evening to everyone out here in the UK. I hope you're all doing well and safe. I say good evening to those of you in the UK. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and good night, depending on who you are and wherever you are, people. And as usual, thank you very much for tuning in. And better than that, as usual, I'm very appreciative that you've locked in with me, from a neutral point of view, a neutral stream to just really watch the Chelsea versus Everton game. It's a game that I wish had importance for Arsenal in the sense of, depending on what happens, we can move ahead of them in fourth and things. But that's not how the season's played out in an Arsenal point of view, people. We'll get into the lineup soon. I know there's a lot of rumours in relation to Havertz, who, they spent 90 odd million Chelsea. They're going to have to get a performance. Apparently he's playing as a false nine. Keen to see what happens in that regards. I'm keen to see what happens in this game anyways, because I call it the Carlo Ancelotti derby. Both teams are fighting for fourth. At this point in the season, we're in March. Whatever you have to say about the teams, whatever about the league positions, they don't lie. People are there on merit. People are, if you're Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs right now, you're there because you've been failing by your own standards. So you've got to give respect to Everton. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I hope Everton win. Of course, me, Arsenal, being an Arsenal fan and seeing Chelsea is enough for that. Big up all the Chelsea fans and whatnot. And good evening to those of you who just want to jump in for, honest football and just enjoy the game. And I know a lot of you are, he keeps saying coming home from work. I know a lot of you are still working with lockdown, and I know a lot of you are working from home. So those of you that are leaving your offices and going to your living room to watch the football, you're locked in with me. So yeah, we're a minute in, let's give it a couple before we jump into the lineup. So people, please make sure you hit the like button and those things there. Let me see what you lot are saying in the chat. Watching the stream just to chill. Big up yourself, K, man. It is what it is. John Wayne, you've been missing for a sec, but it's nice to see you're back. John Wayne's in the cut. S is coming with a question straight away. Not even asking how the guy feels, man. Just straight away with this and that. Would you take Thierry Henry as under 23's gaffer? It's Thierry Henry. Of course I will, Big up Steve Bold. I think Steve Bold gets a lot of unnecessary hate. There's criticisms you can ask, but as someone who watches the under 23s obviously frequently, there is question marks, but at the same time, he's better than man give him credit for, and he's definitely not a footballing dinosaur. He actually tried to set them up against Liverpool in a 4-1-4-1 sort of formation, and they let them down. It's Thierry Henry, so of course I'll take him in any position, but logically, is that the right thing to do, my dude? Again, it didn't really work out for him in America. Didn't really work out for him in Monaco. If he gets the experience, why not? But it's a bit of a myth. What are you lot saying for score predictions? For me, obviously, I hope Everton can nick this. I hope Everton can smash them 4-5-0, of course. But, I think Chelsea will win 3-1. Personally, I hope that the reverse score is for Everton. Hopefully Dominic Calvert-Lewin, if he is starting, I haven't seen the Everton team, can obviously bag. Anyone who plays for Everton, I want them to do dirt for people. So it is what it is. It's all banter. It's all banter, my guy. It's all banter, man. It's evening times. I know a lot of you are winding down. If you can't have some fun on a live stream, why not? You lot think I'm this serious guy. It's nice to chill. It's nice to watch a game from a neutral point of view. Terry, you've been a subscriber for a hot minute of my content, and I appreciate that. The one problem has been, obviously, you're an Everton fan, and unless Arsenal play Everton or there's a talking point regarding Everton, mainly the young players for me, I haven't really been able to give you no Everton content. So I'm happy that you're tuned in, and Ollie as well, because I know you're a Chelsea fan and I see you in the live chat. Happy that I can somewhat give you content directly correlating to your team, and big up the neutrals as well. Everyone, please make sure you're hitting the like button. Early doors, there's 48 people. But Terry, have some faith, man. Have some faith. You lot have done well. You lot are fourth. You lot need to go into, if you're going to challenge for fourth, same way I was getting on to Arsenal, you need to be able to go into these games and obviously respect the opponent, respect what Chelsea has done under Tuchel now, and what are they, 10 games unbeaten and things, and that record in itself is very good. But you're going to play these difficult games, and I'm sure if people are betting their life savings, they're saying Chelsea to win. So what you got to lose, really and truly? Yeah, you lose ground, and Chelsea, I believe, can go 4 points clear of you guys. But be fearless, man. You lot are decent. You lot are playing good. Obviously, the fan is these sort of games is a bit of a shag, as you lot know, because the fans aren't there. The Everton fans, the small minority that will be allowed in the away end, would have been roaring on their team. Obviously, Stamford Bridge, considering under Thomas Tuchel, they've been putting in decent performances and winning big games. The same, for Thomas Tuchel, let's be real, Chelsea have to lose one game sooner or later. So I do think, like football fans, when they do, a lot of people will make something more than it actually is. But I have Chelsea for second. I know United are doing their thing, but I have Chelsea for second. I just think They're going to hit a block, obviously, but I just think Tuchel is coming at the halfway point. He's not really changed too much, but what he has changed, he's maximized it. You know, a lot of people drew conclusions on Chelsea squad. This guy's not having a future. That guy can't aid this, Mount that. Lo and behold, I believe Mount is on the bench, but he's been playing. You know, Kante's come in. I'm not going to lie, I don't think Reece James, and he's starting today, I don't really feel he's grasped his opportunities so far since he's come into the Chelsea team, really as good as he is. And I really rate Reece James. He was someone that I thought, yo, this season is going to kick on, and he's nailed on to go to the Euros. And I feel a lot of that is true, but you get it, people. So it is what it is in that regard. You know, A is saying, and I saw this earlier, you said Havertz false 9, you know, get ready for a clinic. You know, for Havertz, we're going to get into the lineup right now, people. And let me check. I keep saying that and I'm getting you excited. So let's actually change that and actually get into the lineup, people. I'll get into it, but you lot got eyes. Apologies if you're blind, but you know, you've got eyes. You can see the lineup there. Havertz has got an opportunity. You know, he wasn't, again, a lot of people thought, you know what, German manager. I would have thought, looking at it, I would have thought, you know, a new lease of life for Rudiger, which has happened to a degree. Obviously, Christensen spent a lot of time in Bundesliga. He's probably known about him. Zuma's kind of been rubbed out, not rubbed out. So he's got an opportunity. You know, he's still playing Werner and trying to play him through the form. I can't lie. I do think Werner's going to start scoring goals at a point. To what level, I don't know. But he just got some bad luck right now. You know, when everything's just going wrong, like he's scoring, VAR is shagging it, you know, it's clipping the wrong side of the post. When it's not happening for you. But for me, you know, a lot of people haven't had chances. And when I thought initially, I thought Pulisic would play a lot more. I thought Havertz would play a lot more. Two of them, you know, Pulisic is on the bench again, as you lot can see. He's still a good player, and I think his time will come. But he's had to, you know, do what he needs to do from the bench if he is going to play. Havertz, for me as an outsider looking in, again, Chelsea fans, you know more than me, and if I overstep the mark and you think I'm talking nonsense, by all means, intercept. But at the same time, to an outsider, it don't look like Kai Havertz has had too many starting opportunities. As an outsider looking in, I'm not going to sit here and lie. Of course, you like the agendas as an Arsenal fan. I like to poke fun at my Chelsea friends saying, oh, what's going on with Havertz? They were giving it to me over Pepe, and I was loving it with my Spurs brethren about Bale and that, who's turned a corner of late. I think Havertz's time will come. I think people underestimate. It's cliche to say when people are not playing well, but you're underestimating his age, and a lot was made of this move. A lot was made of the hype. There's a lot of scrutiny. He's going to need time. I'm not saying you can't critique him, but he's going to need time. And for me, when you're a good player, things will happen, people. When you're a good player, things happen and things turn the corner. But other than that, you know, it is what it is in that regards, people. On that note as well, as an outsider looking in at Havertz as well, it appears that he's one of those sort of players, like in the modern day. It's like, not that they're a jack of all trades, master of none, because he can play in a lot of roles, and that's what football is. You know, you can't really just play one position. You have to be able to do a thing somewhere else. And obviously, Havertz allegedly is playing false 9 today. I personally think he looks good as a 10 in a free role. You know, I do think as he gets older and more intelligent, he could potentially play in a midfield pivot. But for me, obviously, you need to certify one role, and then be able to do that. You know, are you a Cam able to play other places? And it does look a bit unhealthy when he's played everywhere. Well, definitely under Lampard. So one thing I'll give Tuchel, obviously, with all due respect to Lampard, he's significantly more experienced. He's obviously got the German aspect, so he can relate to him for certain things. For me as well, like I said earlier, people were saying everything about everyone who's not playing. For me, I like Tuchel because he knows he's got an immediate role for everyone in the team. There's roles. Kante's played well, and I can't see his name here right now, ironically, or I might be blind, but Kante's not in the squad for whatever reason. People draw conclusions. You know, he's got Jorginho. He's got a little role for everybody according to the game. I did expect Mount to start, but obviously, you know, he's played a lot of football. I'm sure there's fatigue, and realistically, Chelsea's squad is of the level it should be of the level you can rotate. Tammy Abraham, spare a thought. Isn't he technically one of their top goal scorers? And again, I might be blind, but I can't. Well, I can see Kante in the squad. Sorry, apologies, but I can't see Tammy Abraham. Maybe he's just not his cup of tea. Again, I don't want to draw conclusions, but maybe Tammy Abraham is not the cup of tea of Tuchel, and something will be said. I know there was a lot of talk about Tammy signing a new deal or something like that. They might just sell him, and that's cool. You know, Tammy's a Premier League proven striker. That's minimum 50 million. you know, played for England and whatnot. So there's even more on that English premium, as I said, you know, make their money and keep it moving. Arsenal could learn a thing or two by tying down players, developing them properly. And then if you get in situations like this, say, okay, cool, the manager's not feeling him, you can make a money from him, but it is what it is. Chelsea's lineup, as you can see, people, you've got Mendy in goal, Aspilicueta, Christensen, and Zuma, I assume, are a back three. Are a back three. Obviously, you've got Reece James, and you've got what I'd assume would be Marcus Alonso also in the wide areas. Jorginho and Kovacic, you know, been playing quite well under Thomas Tuchel since he's taken over. Keep their space. You've obviously got Hazard allegedly in this number 9 position. Werner will play off the left, I assume, and Callum Hudson-Odoi off the right, or it could be Hudson-Odoi on the left. I don't even know, because I know he likes to play there. I'm keen to see how they set up. So yeah, you can see their lineup. Kepa's obviously on the bench. Thiago Silva's had injury problems. It's nice to see from a human element that he's obviously fit. Chilwell's on the bench. I don't really feel he feels Chilwell like that as well. You know, I don't. It's just one of those things. And obviously, I think for Chilwell, he just got to prove to the manager he can do a thing. Maybe he does rate him. He just feel Alonso's training better and he's the option. You know, Chilwell has to prove him wrong. And Chilwell's done well so far this season under Tuchel. But when I speak to my Chelsea friends, they all do say things like they're not sure where Chilwell is with Tuchel, and you can rub him out, but you know, they just spent 50 million on him. They're gonna have to find some sort of cause for him, people. I'm keen to see what it's like from a tactical setup, because obviously I focused a lot on Chelsea. You can never for a second sleep on the big man Carlo Ancelotti. Like I said, it's the Carlo Ancelotti derby. Carlo Ancelotti was one of my guys I wanted to take over at Arsenal. I did feel if he took over, though, it did, you know, he's not going to get what he wants, and he's a great manager. You have to back him. He's been backed at Everton, even players he necessarily didn't want. Who is it? He said that it was the club decided to sign him. It was one of those. Decore didn't want, not that he didn't want Decore, he didn't brief him on such. He got in Decore, people. You know, he's obviously been backed in the market with obviously Ben Godfrey and all of these in additions to his side. But obviously, Carlo has shown what he can do. You know, if you buy into his system, Allen's back in the team. He's playing quite well. He's given a new lease of life to Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. It will be, you know, at one moment he weren't really in Carlo Ancelotti's thinking. He's forced his way into the lineup. Personally, I feel Iwobi's, what was their last game was against West Bromwich Albion, I'm sure, because, you know, I watched it for loan report purposes. Iwobi's end product kind of let him down in that game. Can he do something? You know, I'm keen to see if they'll change their formation or if they'll stick to brand new. You know, they have got a couple of youth players on the bench, to be fair. My man here, I can't pronounce his name, but he's very decent, very distinctive afro. And I think he just signed with the agency USM. So, you know, that must mean the big boy money soon forwarding into his account. But as you lot can see here with Everton, Pickford's in goal. Now, I'm one of Pickford's harshest critics. I'm frontline to discuss Pickford, especially when he's looking dodgy and stuff. But I think of late, he's made some big saves for them, really and truly. Holgate's been playing well. Mason Holgate, obviously, you're not listening, but you know you want to play for Jamaica, bro. Listen to Antonio. You know you want to play for Jamaica. Holgate, don't act up. You know you want patty and cocoa bread. So, yeah, Holgate's obviously lining up for them. Dijane, I can never pronounce his name, but left back playing quite well for Everton. Someone I wanted at Arsenal when it became clear Barca was selling him. You've got Ben Godfrey, who plays here, there, and everywhere. Michael Keane's another player that this season is making me eat a lot of humble pie. Credit where due. Michael Keane is playing quite well and deserves an England call-up. Like I said, Allen, is very tigerish in the middle of the park, and he's a player I think is kind of underappreciated. Angel Gomez was just clamping everyone against West Bromwich Albion, and I'm sure Carlo Ancelotti wants more of the same tonight. Sigurdsson as well, A1 delivery from set pieces. Iwobi, you're going to need to make sure you can deliver good passes into Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. And for Chelsea, you know, you've got to be careful. They've improved defensively. It's a big test for that back three today, because you're going against Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who can, you know, they can play football, but they're very strong. You know, they'll tussle for every first and second ball and contest. So it's going to be an interesting one to see, people. And like I said, I wish it had ramifications for Arsenal in the sense of, you know, we're only 38. We're on 38 points. If you beat Spurs, you don't don't know what happens, but we're our own worst enemies. But definitely, if you're Spurs, you're eyeing that up as well. You're eyeing up the North London derby, and you're actually looking at this game like what's happening here. Because again, Everton win, it's a good look. Chelsea win, it's a good look because they can make a bit of ground, at least temporarily, on people above them. For Everton, obviously, this is their game in hand. Well, they've got a game in hand because they've played 26 and Chelsea played 27, so it'd be 28 and 27 respectively. My maths is poor, but I think that's right. So it's interesting to see. Spurs obviously are eyeing that up. Like I said, as much as I feel Spurs, Liverpool and Arsenal are messing up this season, West Ham are creeping. It's down to them what they want to make of it, really and truly. And I know a lot of focus is on Champions League. I'm sure if you're Arsenal and Spurs for the financial sort of stuff, you're thinking of Europa League places, potentially Liverpool as well, because it's looking shaky. Now, the top four is a dodgy one, people, because obviously City are going to be there. I think Chelsea personally are going to creep up on second, but I think United could do a thing there, really and truly. They found a way to just scumbag it. I know they've had a couple dodgy performances and results, but they found a way to, like last year, they just scumbagged their way into top four. To be fair, both teams in between and Leicester did, because of this individual people, these individuals people on the last day of the season. I always famously say my top four has about 6 teams, people. So it changes every week. But for me, you look at it, City are going to be there. I think Chelsea will get second. That's all subject to change. But I think Chelsea could get second. I think United will be there. Leicester, I think they'll be there. But as I say, Leicester will be there. I say Everton would be there. Spurs are hitting form at the right time. Bale's finding a little bit of form. Son and Kane are there. Moore is there. Dele Alli is back into the lineup and all those sort of things. West Ham, as I said, Liverpool are in free fall. I mean, I make sure you lot are aware of the Deluded podcast, which is coming out. A new episode, better yet. Pardon me, tomorrow. That's on Spotify, that's on Apple, that's on the rest of it, people. Please make sure you're there, man. Please make sure you're there and taking that in. George, like I said, man, I butchered his name, and yeah, man, I'll learn that one day. But no ignorance or no disrespect. I know this football stuff, pronunciations and them things there are something else. But yeah, I'll endeavor to pattern up at that. So yeah, I'm interested to see what happens in this game. I'm interested that I can enjoy it with you guys from a neutral point of view, really, because again, there's no emotion attached to it, really and truly. But obviously, we have faint hopes as an Arsenal fan that both teams could draw. We could beat Spurs, put a little run together. The whole narrative and sentiment changes suddenly. That's the only excitement realistically this season, this top 4 race. Because if we're honest, and it doesn't lie, none of these teams have really patterned up and made a meal of it. Obviously, based on what Thomas Tuchel's been able to do since the man took, apologies, people, 3 minutes until kickoff, since the man took over. But Chelsea haven't been consistent over the whole season. Everton have had a couple wobbles. Spurs definitely have. Villa were in these shouts, and again, they're there. Bro, do I need to tell you a lot about Arsenal? I am the deluded Gouda, and the priority of my content is Arsenal, so I'm pretty sure my opinions there. Bro, Liverpool, people, this just looks like this. I can't believe this, really, Their last 8 games at home, let alone the last 6, have been a bit booky. But what? 1 win in their last 5. Wolves next. Hopefully Wolves can do a thing, because it's all enemies. Now, the perfect result, I'm sure, if you're these teams below Everton, is obviously for both teams to draw. Chelsea, if you win, again, you put pressure on other people, and again, you've got a game in hand. I'm not too sure at this moment in time if there's actually any big games this coming weekend per se, apart from us, people, Arsenal. Not that is of relevance. So yeah, obviously this is the midweek action. But if we look at the weekend, what fixtures on the weekend? So yeah, there is important fixtures based on what I've just showed you guys, people. Man United, West Ham's a big game. North London derby, one of the actual derbies that is actually good. Not that I want to praise Spurs, is there. Leicester, Sheffield on paper are fighting points. I hope Fulham do a thing. I got no beef with City, but I hope Fulham do a thing, people. Big result against Liverpool. I think at times they've deserved results. Like, ironically, Chelsea today, United, again, they've not got them results, but they've played quite well in those games. If we play Fulham again, which we have, it's going to be a different team to the one that played us at the start of the season, people. Love my guy George, man. It's love, man. What's that? 2 years? Where am I? Like I said, my message, Paul. That's 3 years you've been tuned in, so I appreciate that, man. I completely forgot that Everton signed King. Big up to King, because he doesn't want to be at Bournemouth on the seaside anymore. He wants to be part of this Carlo Ancelotti thing. It's 2 great managers against each other. Carlo Ancelotti, when you know what he's done in the game. Again, don't think he's appreciated enough. People underestimate, again, This is why you back a manager and you get a manager. I'm not saying this is any correlation to Arsenal who can back it up, because Carlo obviously had some demands, whether that's get James, do this, do that. And so far, he's showing you what can happen if you buy into him. If you're not going to buy his direct players, you know, you can see why. But Everton and Chelsea have kicked off, people. Chelsea versus Everton, people, at the Bridge. Spare a thought for the fans. This could have been a good one for the fans. Hopefully Iwobi can be the one to score, people. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, you'd love that. Liverpool are in the mud. You know, big up yourself, my dude. You're always locked in. And as a Chelsea fan, you're there. It's only a 6-month deal for King, so he's not permanent. But 23 seconds into this game, people, Zuma has gone back to his goalkeeper, Mendy. Mendy has passed it to the experienced David Aspilicueta. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. People are saying score predictions. I'm saying 3-1 Chelsea. I would love it to be 3-1 Everton. I want to see an exciting game, and there's not too many watch-alongs I get to do from a neutral point of view. On that topic, people, it's watch-alongs galore this weekend. You know, we've got Champions League tomorrow. What's that? Borussia Dortmund against Seville. After that is PSG live stream with Barcelona on Wednesday. Then, you know, obviously on Thursday, it's Arsenal's watch-along in the Europa League, and there's a couple other bits and pieces sandwiched in between. So, you know, the hard work never stops, the grind don't stop. Loan report, podcast, and the rest of it is always out. So yeah, please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Peter, we're working on it. Allow me, man. We're working on it. Allow me. I might start streaming via OBS, because a couple of people say it's easier to get timers and graphics and all of those little pretty things in the live stream. So, you know, I'll do my research. Like I told you, my week's pretty busy, so I'm not going to have too much time to dedicate to this week, but it is something I'm endeavoring to get at, man. So love for that, man. What are you saying, Prince? You know, Wing could decide who will come closer to Man U or maybe take their league plays. Yeah, Dave, man. I know it's Cesar, but I call him Dave Aspilicueta, man, as they were saying. But yeah, you're right still. Elliot has said, if you could have any player from Everton, who would it be? I'm taking Richarlison. It would be, you know, a couple still, you know. Listen, you know me, I was doing Ben Godfrey propaganda before he signed for them, and lo and behold, you know, he's doing well. He's still in his early 20s. Personally, I feel, you know, he's someone I'm looking at for England in the near to distant future. He probably will miss out on the Euros, but he shown he can play well either side of fullback and at centre half. So I'm having Ben Godfrey. I think Arsenal could build with him. I think Alan, like I said earlier, you know, Alan is very underappreciated in that regards. 2 minutes and 23 seconds, people. Alan's underappreciated, but players I would take, difficult one. Let me think. Let me actually think. Like I said, Ben Godfrey. I'm taking Ben Godfrey. I'm taking Richarlison. Based on current form, if he maintains it, I'm taking Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I'm taking Lucas at left back. So yeah, man, please make sure you're hitting the like button. I love Iwobi, but I'm not taking Iwobi, man. You know, we've got enough of that, them inconsistencies on the right wing at Arsenal already, man. As much as I love Iwobi, could you imagine Iwobi and Willian in the same game, either flanks? My word. 3 minutes into the game, and speaking of the devil, Iwobi's on the ball, wanting to turn into his uncle JJ Okocha today. He finds Holgate. Holgate switches it to Allen. Thought he sold Allen short there. Apologies, Lucas at left back, who's giving it to Allen now. Allen's tried to switch flanks, and he sold Iwobi short. It's pinball at the moment, like my guy M said. You know, it should be a good tactical battle. So far, it does look like such, people. It looks like both teams. It's like a boxing match. I'm seeing jabs, not seeing too much given away right now. And obviously, we probably will have to wait a significant period before we see such. Reece James finds Christensen, and I thought Christensen almost sold his man short there, but nonetheless, Chelsea can still advance. Big chance tonight for Zuma, people, to show that he deserves to consistently play. 3 minutes and 47 seconds in, people. I can't lie. I would take Holgate, but if Holgate Snake's playing for Jamaica after all of this noise, man, it's a pagan thing. It's completely irrelevant, but it's like in Football Manager. I was about to buy Erling Haaland, and I really thought we had a chance. You know, we agreed a fee, personal terms, contract, all of that stuff, and it just said he signed a new deal. So in hindsight, he just used me to get a new deal at the club he was at, which is PSG. So I can't sign him in the game. So I'm a petty person at times. And if Holgate snakes it, I'm not taking him purely for that reason. But on a serious note, of course I take Holgate, man. Have you seen our defense? Have you seen it? It's madness. Chelsea have earned a corner, people. 4 minutes and 28 seconds in. Chelsea are a danger from set pieces. They do have players that are dangerous from set pieces. Reece James will deliver it. Good deliverer normally of set pieces. Zuma looks like he wants it. It's a short one. Aspilicueta is giving it to James. James has played it to the edge of the area. And, you know, when you mention Timo Werner, typically you don't really mention him with scoring, and you know, lo and behold, he's not hit the target. He's completely ballooned it. He's completely shanked it. That's one off the training ground. It is a good run from him. Watching it again on the repeat, I didn't even see the run from him. I was fixated on Alonso. So that's one from the training ground. It didn't bang. Bro, Allen would be sick, man. Allen and Partey, especially in games that we wouldn't have possession, Terry. And for me, simply put, even if you don't want to play them together, if Partey don't play, there's Allen. But people forget football's in a squad game. I'm not gonna lie. If I was Everton, I'd be worried about Chelsea's pressing, and I'd be worried about Chelsea's movement. There's a sea of blue shirts just going forward, and I'm not gonna lie. Chelsea's attacking players, they look like they're on it today. Callum Hudson-Odoi's movement, he's getting into little positions. If you're a Chelsea fan, I'm sure game like this, there's not a lot of space. You're looking at your midfielders to do a bit more. Callum Hudson-Odoi had to come quite short for the ball, and Everton are doing well to press. You know, as you can see, Gomez is leading it this time. Obviously, he's probably the nearest one to it. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Christensen has received it off his goalkeeper and he will advance with possession, people. You know, I think Kovacic is very underrated. I think he's underrated as a footballer. Reece James loses his footing and it's presented possession back to Everton. Allen's tried to find a hopeful ball to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but Zuma gets his noggin on it, and eventually Kovacic can restart. You know, it's always interesting to see new managers take over at clubs, people, because, you know, Christensen, I'm sure his career at Chelsea was in the balance. There was a lot of rumblings about Jorginho. You know, Azpilicueta and Alonso looked like they were on their last legs. Lo and behold, they're getting opportunities. Havertz has received the ball from deep and driven with it, and he's found Alonso on this left-hand side. Good pass from Alonso to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Callum Hudson-Odoi will go right back into that alley and will give it to his teammate Havertz, who will find Jorginho. And this is what Chelsea do very well. They switch the flanks in a passing sense very well. Christensen is advancing with the ball forward. Very neat and tidy on the ball. And obviously, if you're going to play with a back three for obvious reasons, you need comfortable players with such. And he's not needed any license to, you know, or be requested to be that centre half who carries the ball forward. You can tell he really enjoys that. He's found his midfield mate in Kovacic, who's played it to Reece James. Now, Reece James, for me, like I said, I really want to see a performance from Reece James. I really like Reece James. I think he can kick on and you know, be in the real. I think he is in the conversations for best fullbacks in the Premier League, but, you know, make it less of a conversation and more of a sort of talking point. Hopeful ball forward to Callum Hudson-Odoi's kind of put Holgate in trouble. Oh, I'm not going to lie, based on the way penalties have been given, part of me thought that was going to be given against Holgate. But to Holgate's advantage, you know, it's been given against Callum Hudson-Odoi. And I don't think it was a foul. You know, both of them going for the ball. People are losing their footing. A couple of players have slipped within these opening 7 minutes and 52 seconds, people. It might be a one to change their boots at half time. So far within these opening 8 minutes now, people, both teams have, I won't say cancelled each other out. They're still a bit, you know, getting a bit shy. I wouldn't say timid. That's not the right word. I think Chelsea, like I said, I can see a sea of blue shirts. I think they're counter pressing. I just think they're feeling each other out. They're focusing on what they've ever obviously been working on respectively midweek, and they don't want to give it away in that regard. Iwobi's done well here to find his teammate in Allen. Allen's giving it to Michael Keane. Michael Keane being pressed quite well from Havertz. Havertz, I'm sure, you know, he hasn't played significantly and he's full of energy. And that's what happens, you know. Nothing's come of that per se, but like you saw, from Havertz just pressing Pickford and forcing him to kick it long, he's kicked it out of play. The moral of that story is, people, put people under pressure and you never know what could happen. So far, it's as expected within these 8 minutes and 45 seconds, people. Majority of the ball with Chelsea, you know, Everton are having to remain pending. I'm not saying they're not getting forward because, you know, it will be for me in these opening stages has got on it. Allen's had the ball quite frequently. I do think they've been a bit wasteful. They've tried to force that pass into Calvert-Lewin in particular. And it's very scrappy, as you lot can see here. But Richarlison's come out on top and just done the complete brainless thing of running into a blind alley. And it's pinball because I thought Allen made it up for him, but he's giving it to Havertz now. It's a bit like playground football of sorts, people, in that there's no space for the man in possession. Jorginho's done very well. I thought Reece James sold him short. That's what's known as a hospital pass in North London, people, or any footballing place, because it literally can result in people ending up in hospital as a result of being in a 50-50 or a tackle. So he's set him up there. Big up yourself, Jay Jackson. He has said, big up DG, big follower, hit the like button, people. It costs nothing. What the man said, you know, hit the like button. It doesn't cost a thing. obviously, I don't think Iwobi's right wing back, but naturally, you know, Everton were going to concede the lion's share of possession. We're going to have 11 men behind the ball and at least weather the storm for the opening 10, 20 minutes. And they've done such. And I think you've done well. You know, Everton are a good ball playing side. They've got individuals who do fancy themselves on the ball. As you just saw there, good play from Holgate. He done a little Cruyff then. Like I said, Holgate, Jamaica, my bro, Jamaica. The minute you play for Jamaica, I will shamelessly say you're the best centre half in the league, you know. Anyways, people, Reece James gives it to Aspilicueta, to Jorginho. On this left-hand side with Kurt Zouma, he's brought it forward. In possession with Kovacic, plays a 1-2 with his midfield pivot in Jorginho. Acres of space. Reece James is there, doesn't pass to him, finds Havertz, glides past his man. I thought that was a foul for Chelsea personally. Soft foul, but I did think Havertz was broken down there. Callum Hudson-Odoi is on a different wavelength and has conceded possession to Everton. The two goalkeepers of these sides don't fill you with any confidence. Suppose so. Tuchel's getting a bit mad. 11 minutes into the game, people. Chelsea 0, Everton 0, people. Chelsea 0, Everton 0. That's where I'm at, Peter. Hopefully I've, said that. I haven't left you waiting too long. Long ball forward from Holgate. Half decent ball. And Mendy, a little less singing that. And I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin's in there. That's the first time that it's popped off for me from Everton. And that should give them a bit of confidence. For Chelsea, you want to build on. Again, I think saying they're dominating the game is selling it a bit strong. But they've had the lion's share of possession. Take it as an Arsenal fan who sees my team drop points week in, week out. Possession don't equal goals. And again, it's only 11 minutes and 38 seconds and you need to be easy and all of those sort of things. But it is what it is. Prince, you're right. They're pressing very good. But I think Everton are doing quite well. I'm keen to see if and when that first goal comes for both teams, whoever scores, what it means. Because for the team that takes the lead, are they going to still play the same way? If that's Chelsea, how are you going to play that? Everton probably set up to be a bit more defensive than most weeks. How are you going to deal with it being in the lead? And again, like I said, man are fighting for top 4. So there's serious ramifications on this game. Richarlison's tried to burst forward. Aspilicueta's done well there. And I can't lie, I thought that was a foul. I don't know if that was an accident. It looked a bit unnecessary there from Aspilicueta. Maybe a bit of dark hearts. But I don't know, people. Big up yourself, all the DC ones. My guy, we're working on the timer. We're working on it. Big up Sky to Rush, man, because he's helping, man. We might move to OBS. If not, someone knows a positive way of doing it on StreamYard, then obviously lend your services. You get that in it, but I'm working on it. Everton have the ball in a decent position here with Lucas at left back, people. Sigurdsson has sold him short with a rubbish 1-2. I did not think that's a foul for Chelsea. I think Jorginho's bought one there. I think that's a very soft foul, very soft foul to concede. And I'd be very frustrated if I'm Everton. But it is a foul, but it's soft. But fundamentally, that's the first bit of play I've seen from Everton in his opening 13 minutes with the ball in a half-decent area. Chelsea can have the lion's share of possession, but once you get it, how are you going to hurt them? Man said there's some dodgy trims going on for Everton. Fair play, man. Hey, respect people's barnets, man. It's lockdown. No one's got a good barnet right now. Do you know how much I wish I could cut my hair? Why can't none of my subscribers be barbers and that and say, oh, DG, I'm cutting hair. This is the work I've done. I'll come cut your hair. Why can't none of you do that? I know there's a barber out there. Come, man. Come cut a guy's hair, man. You think I want to wear hats on this? Anyways, people, less about the hair, more about the game. 13 minutes and 43 seconds into the game, people. Jens, I think it's Tierney, but I also think it's Lucas still. So maybe the bias is shining clear. Going forward, it's definitely, I think Lucas is clear. I think defensively, it's about even. But I think, I'd say Tierney defensively. Only if they can cut hair, bro. Look at my buff face and my sexy self. You think I'm some piece of paper, A4 sheet that man can do scribbles and play around my hair? Come on, man. Pattern up, man. If they can cut hair, why not, though? Chelsea 0, Everton 0, people. 14 minutes and 25 seconds in. Reece James in possessions. Found Jorginho. Everton have slightly crept further and further up the field. Very decent. But Chelsea, they have to work on being press resistant. And I was just about to applaud them for it. But Jorginho almost played a hospital pass to Aspilicueta. But Aspilicueta and James, who's broken forward, have done very well there, people. And Reece James is going and going and going, lines up a shot, earns a corner for his team. Good positive play from Reece James, you know, very good bit of play from him, man. No, I ain't playing around with that, boy. My hands aren't steady enough for that, Oli, so I'm going to leave that. You're going mad. Well, you can't go wrong with, you know, skin fade, you know, take some off the top. I'll tell you when to stop cutting all it off the top. You can't go wrong with a skin fade or low fade or something. You know, my barber's been cutting my hair for years, so it's got to the point where it's light. Saying that, less about the hair, like I said, Greg, man. But Jorginho from this corner, it's come out to him and he's done a little half volley and it's whistled just wide. It weren't enough to get in, but still, it's positive play from Chelsea. As a neutral, first 15 minutes and 38 seconds into this game, not been much, you know. So one of you made a good point about, as a neutral, neither keeper really filling you with confidence. You know, there is question marks over Mendy. There's been question marks over Pickford. Pickford, to be fair to him, has been in decent form. But pardon me, nobody's had a real effort. Now, no, I don't think keepers had to make a save. And to be fair, if you're both sets of fans, maybe you take that. Chelsea, from a Pickford goal kick, have broken here, people. I think Holgate's done very well and Werner's done better to keep it in. One thing I'll give Everton is they're getting men back in play. But it's wonderful watching Chelsea and seeing how press resistant they are, people. And it is a foul. Holgate has done dark arts, and got caught with it. He's tried to pull down the runner. Obviously, you're taught follow the runner when they've tried to play a 1-2. And that's a yellow card. And now, you know, it's a long way, long night, a long way to go. So if you're Chelsea, if you're Callum Hudson-Odoi on that left-hand side, more of the same. Force Holgate into those positions, you know. And every foul Holgate does, be in the ref's ear, ref, Holgate again, Mason again. Chelsea got a set piece, and I wouldn't say it's a dangerous area, but you put a decent ball in, you can threaten. And they've got good people who can header. They've got Reece James and Alonso over the set piece. So again, this could be decent. Or will it be a played short to Callum Hudson-Odoi? I don't know. Will they take it back to basics, or will they not? How many likes to take the hat off, bro? 300. To be fair with you, I always got my hat off. I just want it on today still. I always got it off, man. Ain't no fair. You know, we're on this greasy thing. My hair's a mess right now, but on this greasy thing. Ball into the box. Pickford has done well to punch clear. And again, Jorginho's been the one to have an effort, and he seems to really be on his Brazilian samba thing today. He's tried another volley. It ain't popped off, people. 17 minutes, 30 seconds in. That's probably the best opportunity in the game so far. It is a very good delivery from the dead ball scenario. Pickford's done well to get something on it, people. He said, teacher Smith Rowe to wait for contact and that. Holgate in possession, people. Goes long, not for the first time today. And the problem is they're going long to Calvert-Lewin, but they're not giving man half a chance. Like, he's against a man mountain as it is in Zuma. At least put it in a half decent area. And I would say you've got to mix it up. Your game plan is not to play football, but a couple of times you've got to play short, which they have. But you're just gifting the ball back to Chelsea. And if you're Thomas Tuchel, you're probably quite annoyed that in these opening 18 minutes and 11 seconds, that set piece, like I just said, is probably the best, you know, situation you've had. You know, it's like what I said about Arsenal and Burnley. It's not rocket science. You don't shoot, you don't score. You know, it's bouncing off him. There's 2-3 men around him. It's not rocket science. They know Dominic's strengths. And, you know, as strong as he is, you know, Zuma's strong as well. And no matter how much you contest with Zuma, you've got 3 centre halves to fight with. You know, you can fight through them lot, and then you have David Aspilicueta Cesar Aspilicueta just sweeping up. It did look like they played advantage. It did look like Havertz was brought down. Reece James has tried the underhit ball into the box, and it's just caught by Ben Godfrey, who will clear. 19 minutes into the game, and it's slightly opening up. But once again, as you can see, there's no outball with Everton. They're trying the Dominic Calvert-Lewin thing. It's not working. Like I said, they've got to be on the ball a bit more. You can't just give back possession. Keeping the ball is a form of defense. And then, obviously, what you do with it means something. You know, exactly. You can't hold it up for running, so it's dead. And like I said, they're human. And, you know, it's one of them games. Keep calling him Callum. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, they knew where it was. You know, they're going to have little aches and pains. You know, they're probably going to be sore all over in the morning. It's one of those games, you know, winning and contested. They knew what it was. But give your teammates half a chance, man. Who would you say, who do you think is the biggest diver in world football, the Premier League? There's a lot of candidates still. Do you know who I would say is the best at it? People sleep on Di Maria. I'd say Di Maria, Bruno's proven how to do it. United have found a way to do it. You know, just the usual suspects, really. I'd have to think, man. I'd have to really think. Kane, without a doubt, Kane knows how to do it. To be fair to you, bro, all these players, even players at Arsenal, I'm not going to name them because agendas and that, but, you know, everyone knows how to do it. Mendy's gone long, people. Suspect kick from Mendy, presented it back to Everton. First bit of play, Dominic gets to control the ball and that, and it's short-lived as Jorginho just snaps at his heels. 20 minutes and 20 seconds, people. So far, not much to comment on. Everton are waking up now, really, and starting to get further into into Chelsea's half and territory. Just as I said that, Lucas has put a good ball into the box, and I'm not being funny. Again, you've got two big players in Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison. Why is neither one gambling for that? Iwobi's now, people. Iwobi puts a ball into the box. Not the best of balls, but again, it's good from Everton. They're waking up now. For the majority of the game, it's all been Chelsea. And like I said, Thomas Tuchel will be angry because the more you don't score, the more confidence you give the other team. You know, how many times have we seen a team dominate possession and things like that? People, they're not the other team gets one opportunity and then it's in the back of the net. So, yeah, it's still Chelsea and Everton 0-0. For those of you just joining in, people, please make sure you're all hitting the like button. Please make sure you're all hitting the like button. Reece James in possession, people. Finds his Cobham graduate in Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's advanced forward. Good ball to Havertz. Havertz has done well to keep it in. I did think Callum, that's why you heard the expression in my voice, did think he was put a bit too much on that. Just cooked it over slightly, man. It's crazy, man. Bro, you're in Portugal. Big up yourself if you're in Portugal. Hey, man, Neymar's one of my favorite players. So agendas, it kills me. You know what, bro? I'd say 4 years. You know, I think Azpilicueta will leave Chelsea, go back to Spain, go MLS, and then we'll sign him. You know, we're probably talking to Paul Scholes, Michael Carrick, and all these people saying, "Come play for us, people." Really and truly, man. Wouldn't surprise me if we bring back Santi, and I'd be all for that because Santi would actually be half competent. Chelsea are starting to switch off, and Christensen has lost the ball in a stupid position. And I think Everton have wasted an opportunity in advancing. I think they've been too content with needlessly keeping the ball for the sake's purposes. I'm not being funny, but Chelsea are playing a back three. You need to take advantage of the space and then give the fullbacks an option. Do I have to sit or do I keep going? You know, they're not asking Chelsea questions. Saying that, they've done well to keep possession. Sigurdsson has played his left back. Lucas is in possession. Can he beat his man? Doesn't need to. In fact, that's very poor. I don't know what he thought Sigurdsson was going to do from there, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Hey, man, just wait. DG vids, in fact, to be fair to you, the second you come back from Portugal, there'll probably be like 50 vids for you to catch up on. It's worse than a Netflix series with me. Hamza said, who would you take out of the Everton side to put into Arsenal's? I said it before, but I mean, Richarlison, their left back, on current form, Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, man. And anyone I missed out before, people, please let them know, man. That's who I would say. Decore, I know he's not playing as well, and I forgot him, actually. I wouldn't mind Holgate, but if he doesn't play for Jamaica, dead out here. But, yeah, people, 23 minutes and 13 seconds in. Chelsea, again, will start possession. And Chelsea are needlessly starting to give it away now, you know. Christensen under hit pass. Kovacic has tried to find someone on the flanks that isn't there. Again, they're creeping into old habits. Dare I say, Chelsea are probably getting a bit frustrated. Like I said, it's probably a game for both teams where they have to be patient. I'm keen to see once again how both teams react. It's a very good throw from Lucas. You can't be offside from a throw. And Sigurdsson has latched onto it, done well to keep possession. Where's his support? Finds it in Richarlison. Richarlison gives it away very cheaply. Both teams giving it away in stupid areas. And not for the first time tonight, Richarlison loses possession and Jorginho actually wins a foul for his team, people. Godfrey has been a good player for them. He's been massive for them. Been a very good player. Josh, what are you saying, my guy? Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Pick one midfielder from the Premier League to play next to Partey. Bro, there's Bear that could play next to Partey, man. Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan, all the City ones. I wouldn't mind Pogba next to him. That'd be great. I wouldn't mind Thiago next to him, regardless of what he did at Liverpool. Debate ones, man. Oh, and again, poor pass from Richarlison. I mean, from Sigurdsson to Richarlison this time, but Richarlison's kept it alive. Lucas delivers into the box for Everton. Andre Gomez, the only one really making a run, gets something on it, but he shanked it in. If you can shank a header, But again, Everton are building in confidence. You know, Mendy's being shown on my TV a bit more now. Everton have kept Chelsea in their own half for a bit and frustrated them. I think Chelsea playing out from the back has been good, but it doesn't appear like there's too many movement for the man in possession. And I would say, like what I see at Arsenal, just too many touches. You know, in a game like this, Everton are giving you bare space. Look at Christensen forward. Look. See, on this left-hand side, Zuma, like that, go forward. Don't always check back onto your right foot. I don't mind that from Zuma. He's tried to advance with it and use his weaker foot, but that's what you need to do. Stretch the game. Stop checking back on your right foot and finding Christensen. And not to say I'm a genius, but it looks like Thomas Tuchel is saying the same things and he wants to see it faster. 25 minutes and 30 seconds in, people. Everton have had 26% possession to Chelsea 74. Yet the only metric that matters is it's 0-0 and both teams on paper are getting a point. And Andre Gomez has done well to switch it to Ben Godfrey. Godfrey in possession. Good forward pass to Richarlison. Richarlison does very well to evade Jorginho. And Everton can build. Like I said, Everton are growing. Spoke too soon because it's a poor pass from Richarlison and Alonso's crept in. That's never a foul. I'm not even a fan of either teams. I'm seeing the game's gone mad. Maybe because I'm doing half the fouls in Sunday League. Come on. Alonso's done well to get a foul there. The game's gone mad. He ain't touched him. Anyways, people, 0-0 Everton versus Chelsea, 26 minutes and 18 seconds into the game, people. I swear you're a moderator, Ollie. I'll pattern that, though. I'll pattern that for you. I know I sold a lot of people dreams. Someone else actually handles my emails, and the person that does, they need to make you guys moderators because I completely forgot about that to the other day. But I'll pattern your thing. Always said, talk to me about Lamptey. I was on the train, but he's only played 11 games this season and out for the rest of the season. And, well, you ain't put the amp part, my guy, but it's like what I was talking about in another live stream in that I'm on the Lamptey hype train, but people need to remember he's still learning, you know. He, like James Justin his first year at Leicester, you remember Lamptey took a while to get in, so I would take him. Obviously, the injuries is a concern considering we don't look after Thomas Partey and Tierney. So, yeah, that's a problem. So, yeah, it is concerning. It's turned into a feisty game here, people, and Everton have won a foul. I don't know what the game's actually been stopped for because it looked like he should have given the first foul in Chelsea's favour to begin with. You know, he's completely stopped Callum Hudson-Odoi from advancing. It looked like Havertz had the initial foul anyways, people. He's completely collapsed by two men. Allen and Ben Godfrey have done him in. Good, strong run from him, people. I wouldn't mind, you know, Brighton going down, but, you know, how to find cheaper because I do agree with my guy and you are right, but it's not them days they are kind of gone within reason of a team's been relegated. They have to sell everybody, you know, but even Bournemouth, they ain't sold everybody, you know, didn't it take 6 months or so for Josh King to even get out of that place? Richarlison's earned a fantastic free kick. Defo a free kick and that has to be a free kick, a foul given, a yellow card, given against Jorginho. Everton, like I said, are growing in confidence. But as I said, people, 28 minutes and 5 seconds. But as I said, my dude, long gone are those days where, you know, a team's been relegated or in the championship, so they have to sell. You know, Norwich didn't, you know, even Bournemouth did. So is what it is. I think Zuma's been suspect over on this left-hand side just as a neutral watching the game purely because he keeps checking back in. So make of that what you will. We're at 116 likes. People keep driving that one there, people. Please keep driving that one there. You know, can we get to 200? Where you guys gone? I've lost your thing. 28 minutes and 39 seconds, people. Everton now have a free kick in a dangerous area where they could probably exploit. You know, you've got Sigurdsson and you've got Dijane over that. Again, forgive me for the mispronunciations. I wouldn't want to be one of those. I wouldn't want to be the keeper, especially in this area. It's difficult because if you're going to get it over that wall, you have to obviously get it down. If you have to get it top bin, you have to be precise. Are they going to be smart and hit it under the wall? He's tried to pull it over him and it's cannoned off the wall and it'll be a corner. Apologies to Everton. But Everton have done more, you know. First 20, you know, they were just sitting back and admiring Chelsea. They're starting to get corners. They're starting to get free kicks. They're starting to break. They're starting to do things beyond just playing it long all the time to Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You got to mix it up. Absolutely mixed it up. If Newcastle would get relegated, anyone from the squad, I'd say Jamal Lewis personally, little left back thing there. You know, backup left back, he is quite competent as well. Still a lot of learning. I'd say him. He's probably the only one glaringly off the top of my head. I'll take that youngster Elliott just for the sake he's young and that. But apart from that, off the top of my head, not too many. Sigurdsson pull it back in from a set piece. And Everton might score here. It's complete pandemonium in the box. It looked like a freak. It looked like a penalty. Apologies. It looked like a handball. And Chelsea really made a meal of that. And I'm sure if you're a Chelsea fan, hearts dropped as Michael Keane could have converted. Complete pinball in the box. Like I said, people, 15 minutes left, 30 minutes into the game now. Everton are waking up, but Chelsea have got away now. Reece James, got to do better. Got to play it. Got to play it, Reece James. I'm not even a Chelsea fan. I'm just frustrated seeing good football moves broken down. He's done quite well, though, anyways. Hudson-Odoi's played it back over it to Aspilicueta. Reece James in possession. Finds Werner. Haven't said Werner's name too often. Christensen. Acres of time. Nobody seems to press in him as Everton elect to hold their shape. Finds Kovacic, who finds Zuma. Zuma forward. Goes forward now. It's been going forward the last couple of times. Finds Callum. Callum's done well because so much guys were trying to clamp him there. Does very well here. Callum does very well. And if Alonso can deliver. Oh, and Chelsea have scored. Callum Hudson-Odoi makes it all. I don't know if Havertz can claim that. That was looking like a deflection and all them thing there. But I'm sure Chelsea are not going to care. Chelsea 1, Everton 0. It looked like an own goal from Ben Godfrey. Chelsea are not going to care. You know, Zuma clearly has been told to play it forward by Tuchel. Doesn't check in on his left foot. Goes forward. Callum Hudson-Odoi made all of that. He plays it forward to Alonso. Alonso really butchers his delivery, but either way, it ends up in the back of the net. I don't know if VAR is going to play a part. You never know of any goals in the Premier League this season. It don't look like there's anything wrong in that regards, but it is what it is in that regards. Bit of a freak goal. You know, Chelsea did the right things. It was a good move. Havertz made a good run. He's completely miskicked it, though, and it's cannoned off Ben Godfrey. And it's absolutely shameless from Havertz to go on like he scored that. It's shameless to go on like he scored that. You can't get that goal. You can't claim that. There's no way they give it to him. If they give it to him, there's bare things that should have been given to other players. You can't give Havertz that. Man said pandemonium in the box. Hey, what can I say, man? I guess I'm going to sound more and more like a commentator each and every time. My guy, Ben Godfrey, who I was bigging up and I'm still bigging up, unfortunately has conceded an own goal. 32 minutes and 13 seconds. Chelsea 1, Everton 0. And from an Everton perspective, it probably serves you right because Chelsea need to do a lot more, but they've been the dominant team. It probably is a bit of pill to swallow, pause, because you've kind of woken up and you've had corners and things like that, and that's a cheap goal to give away in the build up to that, man. You know, it has to be our own goal, but I'm not gonna lie. If I'm Havertz, I'm being shameless and I'm claiming that. Strikers finish and all them thing there. I'm claiming that. But Chelsea have finally got that going. Like I said, I'm keen to see what happens now. You know, 32 minutes and 46 seconds, not too long to go before halftime. It's a question of game management for both sides. Like I said with Everton, you've got to come into games like this and get a result if you want top four. And Chelsea have played a couple needless passes. You know, it's still 1-0. There's not daylight. You know, you can complicate things, sorry, people. I'm not going to lie, he does get it. I was about to say Richarlison earns a foul there. You know, someone came crashing down on his back, pause. Bit of dark arts there from Reece James as he doesn't allow them to take the quick free kick. Tuchel's vexed, you know, and I wouldn't be necessarily happy if I was Chelsea gaffer or a fan either. I wouldn't be upset, but in the Premier League, you got to kill games, man. You got to kill games. Up until a point, Everton only had 20-odd% possession. You got to score, man. Poor positioning, bro. Poor positioning, Terry, bro. Callum Hudson-Odoi has made that out of nothing. You know, Holgate's tried to Cruyff turn and been caught, and his boy, Andre Gomez, has bailed him out. Iwobi's almost lost it, but's kept it in. Iwobi's tried to go for the nutmeg, and Everton will get the throw over here on the right-hand side. Bro, you got to remember, essential, broski. Essential, broski. Hey. I can't believe the goals come again on my screen, people. If I'm Havertz, I can't lie, I'm claiming that, but it's absolutely shameless. I don't know. You can say it's going into the back post. It looks like it's going off target. Either way, it's a goal, people. Please make sure you hit the like button. Peter, I'm with you. It's defo going wide. Still rate Ben Godfrey, though. You know, Arsenal typically do a bad job with transfers. Somehow we got 40 million for Iwobi. Shout out to Iwobi for making that possible. Twinkle toes from Andre Gomez, concedes possession. And I don't know how play's been allowed to play on, though, with Kovacic on the floor. And Chelsea might be in here. Havertz crashes a shot off Michael Keane. If I conceded that from an Everton perspective, I'd be going mad. What are we playing football or what? Like, that's obstruction. What's all that stuff, man? Good play from Kovacic, though, to be on the floor and keep playing, though, people. Mendy in possession for Chelsea. Everton 0, Chelsea 1, 34 minutes and 53 seconds played, people. And Chelsea, I won't say have the safety net because 1-0, but they have the lead. So they have control of the game in theory. And Chelsea are a very comfortable team in possession, as you've seen with the build-up play. And Kovacic has tried to play a good pass to Alonso. It will be read it, but almost made a mistake. Bails them out. Pickford has again tried to find Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I did not think that one there was a foul. That looked like Zuma actually won the ball, man. Carlo Ancelotti, for me, be a bit frustrated to concede the goal in the manner they did because it all came from needlessly giving the ball away. And like Terry Nash said, poor positioning. Let me wheel that up again. Poor positioning let them in the first place. After, I'd say not a tough 20 minutes, but 20 minutes where, you've got to remain penned in. You're giving the ball away. I'm sure we've all played Sunday League when you're just defending. It does get tiring. But after that, they woke up. Again, it's another long ball to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And, that's all that will happen. Zuma will contest. No matter what, the second balls, Chelsea will sweep up. And I think from an Everton perspective, Chelsea have been building moves way too easily. Like, they've been allowed to get in way too easily. Fortunately, it comes to nothing, and it's over there with Pickford now. 36 minutes and 10 seconds into the game, people. Finesse, bro. Finesse. It was a finesse. Mahmood, big up yourself. I hope you're good as well. Hope everybody's good. Please hit the like button. I can't lie. The ref's just giving fouls for everything. It's a smart foul earned by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Dark horse. But I can't lie. It's a madness. And Zuma's right. He's right to do that. I mean, are we playing football? He's swimming. Look how big Dominic Calvert-Lewin is. He's easy but benching over 100k and he's going down like that. You know what? Somebody asked me earlier who I believe the biggest diver in potentially the Premier League or world football is. That I just remembered Adama Traore, man. I've never seen a bodybuilder, WWF looking guy just on the floor all the time. But anyways, 37 minutes into the game, people, Chelsea have not killed off the game, and Everton are starting to engineer their own mistakes. They're looking a bit nervous in possession, and they've needlessly given it away time and time again. It's getting very scrappy. Here it is again. And again, isn't it? What kind are we playing football or what? I think fouls are being given against both teams. They're not fouls. What going for the ref? The ref's just got a hard-on for authority here. Saying that, it does look like both Gomez and Alonso, once again, people, they're pulling each other's shirts. So forgive me, ref. Obviously, I'm not on the ground there, but you are being soft, though, man. We're playing football. What? Good play from Sigurdsson to sell a bit of dreams to Havertz. Good play from Lucas to also do the same. And it's here with Richarlison now. 37 minutes into the game and 40 seconds, people. Not long before half time. Allen's tried to play a pass forward to Richarlison. It's been read by Reece James. Never a handball. And Chelsea again have possession. Haven't seen Werner too much. He's been stuck on the right hand side. What has Holding said? Oh yeah, Holding about Adama. Trust me. Havertz he does look like a reserve guy, but he has grown into this first half, and he is in possession right now. He's gone backwards and he's found Zuma. Now it's a case of game management from Everton as well. But I meant to say Chelsea. You've got the 1-0 lead. I wouldn't say you've worked Pickford. I wouldn't say you've hit the target enough. Ultimately, it's 1-0. And in the Premier League, it's a dangerous lead. Generally, long gone are the days where you can just consistently hold out 1-0s. Safety net. You score more goals, you're more likely to get 3 points. Football's a simple game. Kovacic in possession, people, needlessly gave it away to Sigurdsson, and that's a fantastic pass to Richarlison. Richarlison's done extremely poor. You're only going to get a couple of chances, and I'm a big Richarlison fan. Christensen's done very well, but he's got to at least work Mendy. Peach of a pass from Sigurdsson. Chelsea in possession. Jorginho over the top, tried to find Werner. Holgate's there, and he finds his goalkeeper in Pickford. Pickford will be able to play it to the left-hand side here where it's over there with Lucas. Bro, these fouls, Gregs, are not fouls, man. This ref ain't played football, man. He's just giving some soft fouls. Pickford again. Again, if I'm the strikers, you're just tiring out your strikers. I'm not saying don't play long balls, but sometimes these are not helping people. You're just making them chase after lost causes. And if you're Chelsea, that's what you do. You go home to Mendy. Mendy distribute that carefully. Hey, man, let's allow the ref. But true, Christensen, James, Havertz has been popping up everywhere, predominantly centrally and off the right-hand side, in my opinion. Kovacic. Alonso out here on this left-hand side. Takes on Iwobi, cuts inside, checks back outside with Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi gets past Iwobi way too easily. And I think Iwobi's shown he's not a defender there because he's shown him inside. You can't show a right footer on the left-hand side inside. It don't make sense. Don't let him shoot. And he's shown that he's not a fullback there. He's tried to defend, but he's shown his naivety there. What front three would start for England? Difficult one, but I'd say Harry Kane, Raheem Sterling, probably Jadon Sancho, Grealish in the 10 for me. Off the top of my head, off the dome, without thinking about everything. Bro, that's decent, man. That's very decent. But how much money is that resulted in? Ball over the top from Chelsea to Alonso, and Alonso has to score there. Alonso, Pickford, big save. And once again, Everton are getting cut open way too easily. I said it, people. Do I ever lie to you? I said they're getting cut open in 2-3 passes. Everton has saved people's bacon. It's Kurt Zuma this time. Again, I told you, he needs to play it forward a bit more. Presenting issues, people. He initially started that, and then eventually, obviously, you saw what happened. Kurt Zuma is waking up, people, and Chelsea have a corner in these closing stages, really, of the first half. Alonso, the man who caused that, will take it. 41 minutes and 13 seconds in, people. Alonso, good ball in from Alonso. Giroud would have probably smacked that in, cannon that in. It's there over here with Callum Hudson-Odoi as Everton deal with the corner. Now it's with Alonso. Alonso won't take on his man. He'll find Callum Hudson-Odoi. Alonso, Odoi, apologies, will attack the space. Plays a lovely one too. Odoi's been very bright. Probably conceded 2 fouls there and plays continued. If he continues that, he's gonna get booked. 4 minutes until half time, people, assuming there's no added on time. I don't think Saka is going to start at the Euros, but he's playing well and doing more as much as he can to force the issue. But I think a lot will be made of what the formation is. I think he's more likely to start games if it is a back three because of the wing back stuff, but I think he'll hold their bench. Richarlison's play's been cut out and it somehow resulted in an Everton throw. I think that is clear, not theirs. It come off an Everton man, but fair play is what it is. Andre Gomez, people, poor pass back, and again Chelsea regained possession. Saying that, it's now here with Allen, who's done a good job of just regaining possession for his team and moving forward. 42 minutes and 25 seconds, people. Chelsea 1, Everton 0. Chelsea have only had 1 shot on target. Everton have had none, people. Chelsea have had 7 attempts, though. So, again, you don't shoot, you don't score. It's a game of that sort of stuff. Havertz has done well to latch on this. He has been bright on the counter. To Hudson-Odoi has also been bright. Takes on his man. Can he find someone? Poor pass is choreographed from Iwobi. Iwobi's done a lot of defending this half based on that right-hand side, and he scoops it out of possession, people. 2 minutes plus any added on time, people. Chelsea 1, Everton 0. 43 minutes and 5 seconds in, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Please make sure you're also aware tomorrow is Champions League. So tomorrow is Watchalong business. Borussia Dortmund versus Seville tomorrow. Then I'm doing, I'll obviously be doing Paris Saint-Germain versus Barcelona. We all saw the first leg of that. Arsenal versus Olympiacos on Thursday. It's Watchalong galore. Typically, I'm live at 11:30 a.m. Tomorrow, I will be around those times. And with that, people, make sure you're aware of the Deluded podcast. Will be out tomorrow, Spotify, Apple, all those things. But make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. Chelsea 1, Everton 0, 43 minutes and 45 seconds. And if you're Everton, you should never lose hope. You have not had enough shots. You have not shot. Chelsea have had 1 on target, the goal. So both teams are not offering nothing, and that should give a bit of encouragement. There's a lot to be said there. I think Mount could do a job in the 8th position as well, really. But it's down to how I don't think Southgate's expansive enough to do that. Like, we're going to see bare builders in midfield, 3 at the back, builders in midfield, 2 bare negative fullbacks. It's going to be dead, man. Hopefully he doesn't do that. But with all due respect to Southgate, you can't have these exciting players, these Grealishes and all these young players and exciting players, and then have a conservative guy. It's not bad to be conservative, but he's too conservative. Hopefully he learns his lesson. But anyways, people, Everton have a throw in, people. 44 minutes and 37 seconds in. Once again, Chelsea 1, Everton 0. Carlo Ancelotti looks perplexed. So you know he's got a lot to say. And he should be perplexed because I feel Everton have respected Chelsea a bit too much here. Saying that, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is giving it to Iwobi on this right-hand side. Iwobi can take on his man. Comes inside. What's Iwobi going to do? Finds his man in Lucas over here on the left-hand side. Lucas aims to pull it into the box. Puts a good ball in. Mendy does well to get something on it. Iwobi latches onto it. Iwobi plays Andre Gomez. Andre Gomez lands a shot. Timid shot, and it's into the hands of Mendy. But again, there's encouraging performance. There's encouraging moments. There's encouraging moments from Everton. There's something in this. It's not over yet. And for Chelsea, once again, this is the value of needing to score. We are now into whatever added on time this ref has come on with. It's 1 minute of added on time. We're into half a second of such people. Just can't keep the ball at all. You know, for me, I do agree with that. England has to, the Foldens, the Greenwoods, the Sackers, potentially Curtis Jones, Yunus Musa, if you could have done that. And I would have said Jamal Musiala, and you could say Jude Bellingham. You need to fast track them and throw your hat on them and all those sort of things. Ben Godfrey's done very well to evade the threat of Werner, people. Pickford's also done well. I didn't think he'd do that. But either way, half-time now, Chelsea 1, Everton 0. Chelsea probably deserved that goal based on the first 20 minutes. But fundamentally, for me, neither team has tested the goalkeepers enough. Chances are far and beyond. Really cancelled each other out. Everton, they need a plan B, or they need to mix up their plan A. The long balls to Richarlison have been read. Pause. They did start to go forward a bit more towards the end of the game. So it is what it is in that regards. Josh, for North London prediction, you're just going to have to wait for later on in the week, my guy. You're just going to have to wait till we preview the game and all the supportive content. So make sure you're subscribed and all those sort of things, man. Dark arts, broski. Dark arts, man. True. And to be fair, Everton have played a lot of games. Maybe it is a bit of fatigue, man. I think the passes haven't been as crisp, I would say. So it is what it is in that regards, I would say, man. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. What are you lot saying? I can't lie. I'm at the stage where I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat, people. What did you lot make of the game as well, man? How many likes are we at as well? 138 likes, people. Please make sure you continue to do that one up. Let's keep that one moving at least to 200. Please make sure you hit the like button, people. Please make sure you hit the like button. What did you lot make of that game so far? Get your opinions in, people. My prediction was 3-1 either way. Don't think we're seeing 4 goals today unless something happens, but a man can dream. And 1 second, people, if I share my screen with you guys, add to stream. First half, there ain't nothing so far, as you lot could see. There was a point Everton only had 26% possession or something along those lines. Chelsea have dwarfed them in that. They've had 67.5 to 32.5. Shots on target, 1 apiece. Not enough quality. Chelsea have had double the shots, 1 shot on target. So what does that tell you? They didn't do enough, like I said, within the first 20 to build on their sustained pressure, and Everton being camped in their own half and not being allowed out, thus still giving hope to Everton. Everton grew into the game and had half chances of their own, really and truly. If I'm Carlo, I'm sitting there and saying, listen, Chelsea are not perfect. They're giving you half chances. The last 20 were better than the first 20. There's something in this game for you lot. Until they get that second goal, it's everything. We're going to need to see game management. We knew at Chelsea for large parts were going to be the dominant team in possession and those sort of things. So as you lot can see in terms of touches, it's reflected in such, Chelsea have had 456 touches to Everton's 259. They've also made 373 passes to 178. Not too much in terms of tackles. Chelsea have made more tackles, though. They've made 10 tackles to Everton's 5. Everton have made more clearances. Chelsea have had 3 corners. There hasn't been too much. I do think there's been a lot of fouls conceded for no reason by the ref, but it is what it is. I think Callum Hudson-Odoi has been good. I think Christensen's looked all right. I think Kovacic has been very good as well, in my opinion. I think Havertz has looked good, especially when they've broken forward. Need to do a bit more. I think Reece James has been all right. I think Zuma, now that he's playing the ball forward and not checking back in on his right-hand side, doing a lot. I think Callum's doing a lot. So, yeah, man, they're doing what they can, man. There is a lot of sloppy pause. There is a lot of sloppiness, man. I would say there hasn't been enough crispness in the final third. More so for Everton's fact as well, man. You know, I like Harvey Barnes as well, Terry. I think sadly Harvey Barnes, well, he's injured now, innit? But Harvey Barnes probably would have missed out on the Euros just because of the depth. Like, I don't think he's gonna get in there ahead of potentially Rashford, who could play there. You know, Sterling's there, Sancho's obviously about, and all these things. I think he's more likely to take Greenwood and things, man. You know, I think Werner's been on the periphery of things on that right-hand side. I don't think he's taken up good enough positions, but so far, so good. You know, Mo's kind of echoing what I said as well about people playing well. Big up yourself. A is saying Callum's on votes. This Werner guy needs to allow the left forward thing. That is Hudson Odoi. So you're respectfully saying, you know, it's Callum's time to shine. Tom is saying Maddison, Barnes, Grealish, loads of time. Bear, man. And you know the wickedest thing, yeah? When you talk about Foden, Mount, Grealish, I'm missing one out. Maddison, yeah. They all kind of deserve to go. One's going to miss out because obviously you're going to need to balance the midfield, and Southgate's not going with all of them. But I don't think any do. I think he's taking Mount, deservedly so. Mount's really upped his game. He's not playing today so far, but he's upped his game. I think Maddison's played quite well. I think Grealish kind of been off the ball recently, but has been head and shoulders above everyone. I think you've got to take Foden. Foden's also another one. People forget Foden can play off that right hand side. I think he's more likely to do that to call up Barnes. Saying that on a regular basis, he was at Leicester. Was that to watch Maddison specifically, or scrutinize Maddison a bit more and see more where he's at? I don't know. Or was that to look at all of them? I'm not too sure, man. If I have a team, fella, why not? Who would I take? Difficult, bro, because they, like I was saying, Tom, they all deserve to go, bro. They all deserve to go, but it's maybe one for a vid, and obviously I need to really think about it, because I think to kind of answer your question, I need to think about all the midfielders I'm taking, because you speak to me, I'm saying everybody's going and things like that. So I would say for me, I'd say Foden defo goes for me, Grealish defo goes for me. I think Mount defo goes for me because he gives you that 8, he gives you that wing, you know, he gives you a bit of that. I think that would probably mean Maddison misses out, but I'd fight tooth and nail to bring Maddison as well. Henderson or Rice, I think you've got to bring both of them. I think Henderson's probably more of a leader, and obviously saying that Rice is the captain, but I'd say probably Henderson ahead of him in there. I wouldn't mind just scumbagging it and putting Rice in centre half, really and truly, man. I'd like to go 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, but I don't think England are going to do that, man. We defo should have got Ben Godfrey. But Big Cell, you're in all my live streams. You say similar points to mine. We're tired of saying these things, man. These things there were to be done. And you see with Ben Godfrey, them things there for Everton. I'm sure in the ideal world, Everton, you know, top 4, you know, challenging for the league, showing ambition, all of those sort of things. But if we just comment on what we can see, resale value. Ben Godfrey's got resale value. So, and hey, see what I'm saying? I'm so happy you said that, because this is what annoyed me about when we used to just say under Arteta or Emre or whatever that we're playing 3 at the back so we can't play forward. It's about the mentality, you know. Like you said, as long as you always want to get forward, it's going to be a different framework. The freedom is going to be the same. It's as simple as that, you know. City are different, but whether City play a back 4 or a back 3, you know they're going forward. So you're right, man. And I had to re-echo that. Thank you. It's about with all of this, man. Man said, with your channel, do you think you have a responsibility to say what's the best for the club and say Arteta out? I think I don't have a responsibility in a sense, you know. Obviously, my responsibility is to not be ignorant and do a madness. And for me, my thing is for my YouTube channel to say what I honestly feel. I'm not here to just scream things I don't want to just scream and things. If I genuinely believe Arteta should leave, then I will say that. We all know YouTube can be a bit toxic, and we live in a mob sort of society and stuff. So I'd say my responsibility is to get people to use their own brain. If you think Arteta should leave, think of a logical reason as to why, without emotion. If you think he should stay, why not? I always say on my channel, I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you lot to think, question things, even things I'm telling you, because it makes for good debate. You know, plenty of times you lot will say, oh, but I hear your point, DG, but this, that, and the other. And I go, oh, you're right. You know, you've changed my mind. And that's what football's about, in my humble opinion. Bro, Southgate has to take risks, but I have to be real. Over tournament football, you do need to be a bit pragmatic. You do need to be a bit negative to a degree. You do need to be a bit street smart. So yeah, that's the thing. I think Ward-Prowse another one that deserves it. Like I said, my guy, I probably have to sit down and really think about it. I really have to think about it because it's good, man. Thomas saying yous are getting better, bro. You aren't saying, my guy. He said Arteta just needs another 3 or 4 windows. To be fair with you, Tom, I hear that. But for me with Arteta, it's about building blocks. Like I said earlier, if you want to buy a house, you're not going to get that mortgage. You're not going to get whatever mortgage, whatever amount of mortgage you've set aside. But if I can see every week you're putting £100 into the kitty or whatever, I can say, all right, cool. We're not there overnight today, but I know what we're moving to. And I can see what he's trying to do in bits and pieces, but I can't really see as a fan what I'm meant to be supporting and buying into beyond the fact of I love my club sort of thing. There's a bit of, for every, you can see it reflected in the wins and losses. It's identical, 11 wins, 11 losses. So it all depends in typical Arsenal fan where you look at things. Typically when we lose, I always think Arsenal fans forget that football's a 90-minute game. Some man focus on, what we might have conceded in the first 20, but we were on top of them for the other and focus on that and say if we didn't concede, certain people will say, listen, I don't care about the other bit of the game, because first 20 you did concede. That's where we're at. Sort of thing. And like you said, it's healthy to disagree. It makes conversation. I disagree with random all the time. And they disagree with me all the time. My friends are always scrutinizing my YouTube thing. I have a Spurs friend. What did I say? He got into me. He's like, you're chatting ish because this, that, and the other. I was like, bro, so when I told you I was doing this video and I said, come on the thing, why didn't you come on it? He's like, I'm not on the YouTube thing. Shut up then. You know what I'm talking about. It's all love, man. To be fair with you, I think it's 50-50 because I think in a lot of aspects, Arteta's at a point where he shouldn't tell you things, he shouldn't have to tell you a lot of things, it's like our players are addicted to doing the same things, I'm a big fan of self-discovery and self-learning, as much as Wenger was a great manager, you look at Thierry Henry, you hear his mentality, you hear Vieira, you all know about Jens Lehmann and Sol Campbell after you've won the league, wanting to thump each other up. When man them think like that, there's only certain things you need to tell them and you don't need to consistently reiterate things. And for me, it's also about when the cameras are not on, I'm inclined to believe we're not doing enough when because we're not at London Coley like today. There's no need. There's no press conference. There's no nothing. What hard graphs are you lot putting in? Because I'm not seeing enough on a match day to suggest we're doing enough because we're not consistently putting form together, man. To be fair with you, Arsenal fans, for me, I don't expect much. You have to look at it within context that Arsenal firmly are a mid-table club. The squad is at levels. It's going to take a significant period of time, effort, and a collective effort with everybody to move forward. That being said, for me, regardless of if you're going to get relegated or whatever, there are some things you should see. You should be able to defend. You should be able to score some goals. That's what football's about, and sometimes that can't always be said. We're underperforming in terms of the final third. We have improved defensively, but crucially, the one thing that matters in terms of defending, we're not up there for clean sheets. We're still up there for individual errors, We've improved defensively, but you've seen a current theme from Arsenal of conceding early goals back to Southampton in the league. If you can't arrest that, there's a problem. And you see, for me, I don't necessarily think I'm seeing enough to say, Arteta, once you get X, Y, Z in that are better, like if we got a better midfielder than Xhaka, I see what you want to do. I don't think it's as easy as that. But at the same time, how much can you really improve defensively, regardless of when you've got so many error-prone players and just simple capped players in that regard? Is what it is. If you're just tuning in, Everton are losing 1-0 against Chelsea, people. Chelsea 1, Everton 0. It is half time. Please make sure you're running up the like button. Bro, Tuchel knows how to rotate his team. And this is why I told, man, when he comes straight away, you're not going to learn too much in terms of this season, who he wants and don't want, because you're at a stage of the season where everyone's got to be utilized, and he's doing that well. People said, Kante's done. Mount done. This guy done. Giroud done. The only one I'd say it looks a bit iffy for me is Tammy Abraham, because you're not in the match squad. You're not there at all. That's the only iffy one. He's going to persist with Werner. I think he likes what Giroud can give him and stuff like that. I don't know if he wants to see something more from Tammy, but it looks like Tammy ain't his guy. It looks like he's 50-50 with Chilwell. Like I said, they spent 50 million on Chilwell, so they can't flog that one there. Too tough. Well, you can, but it is what it is. Thoughts on Ivan Toney? Good player, man. Every day someone asks me about this guy. Good player, man. Good player, but it is where it is. To be fair, I don't think Kante is done. And even a done Kante, by his own standards, still has a lot of use in a 38-game period, because as much as whatever Tuchel wants to do with playing forward, Who in the midfield is like Kante? They're gonna need someone that can do that, that can primarily win a ball back. That's needed over a season. So yeah, even a finished Kante could still be of use, man. Ali, I'm not too sure you need me as manager, people, but you know, I'm just a humble football fan. I appreciate that, Ali. Make sure you hit the like button, but dude. Um, Bro, I think I said it before, my guy. He's overstated. Yeah, I didn't know he was injured. I've just tuned in, people, but it just doesn't look like Tammy's favored by him. So fair play. He's not in. He's injured. I didn't know. So is what it is. Don't shoot the guy, man. You know. Sorry, we're not all working for Sky Sports like you, but Dean, this is what I mean. It's six of one, half a dozen of the other. I think people overestimate the improvements we've made. I think there's too many unhealthy conclusions on Arsenal in that whenever we win and score a whole heap of goals, we've changed and turned the corner. The other way, it hasn't been that. But enough about Arsenal, people. It's halftime in the Chelsea versus Everton game. You know, bitter pill to swallow for Carlo Ancelotti and his men, assuming that they don't obviously score because, you know, you win. It's a big vote of confidence and a big, you know, big 3 points simply put in the top 4 race, people. And things like that. And for Chelsea, obviously, it means they get a bit of ground. Obviously, if you don't know already, there's your confirmation. Chelsea 1, Everton 0, courtesy of a Ben Godfrey own goal in the 31st minute. Now, if you're at Chelsea, I'm saying, simply put, don't concede again. And we need to build on this. You know, we actually need their keeper to make saves. You know, it's Pickford's kit dirty. Go and commit him. The only save he's really had to make, if I'm Chelsea, I'd say what? He had to thingy it, he had to punch it. That's about it. Goals win games. You lot are scoring a whole heap of goals. Go out and kill the game. Don't give them any confidence. If you're Carlo, you woke up and you had a better last 20 and then the first 20, I'd say forgive yourselves for the first 20. Focus on the last 20. You lot want to be in the top 4. You're going to have to come from behind in games. You're going to need to do it in away games. You're going to have to do it against teams that are also fighting for the top 4. Simply put, we're at the point of the season where you know exactly the ramifications for winning, losing, and drawing. So simply put, Everton do what he's doing in the last 20. Simply put, for Chelsea, score more goals. Because you could have all the possession in the world. If you don't score and Everton get one chance, it doesn't matter. Forget about it. You've dropped 2 points. Simple as that. To be fair, I do think Everton needs someone who's going to snap at the heels and things like that, man. And that's it as well. He's been hooked twice. So even if we disregard the injury, he's been hooked. So I'm not too sure if he really believes in Tammy like that. Big up the Twitch gang as usual. Please make sure you're following on Twitch, Deluded Guna 187. I got a lot of time for the Twitch gang. Waiting for the second half. Everton look vexed. They're taking their time. It looks like Ben Godfrey and it looks like the whole defense are having a serious conversation in this dressing room. I wish I could hear what the hell they're saying, but I can't. It looks like Alan is saying a lot. Ben Godfrey is saying a lot. We'll have to see what happens in the second half, people. But as it stands, big 3 points. Big 3 points for Everton, people, so far. Big 3 points. Bro, till the game's done, my broski. As usual, what you thought I was just gonna cut halfway through. Nah, man. Love you guys too much for that. Now, I haven't got no Everton players in my FPL, so I'm not really missing things. But Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I'd love for him to score, man. 1-1 would be the perfect result. To be fair, yeah, I think Tammy's calming the squad. Like, Tammy's cool. Tammy gets decent numbers for Tammy's Tammy can go somewhere else that isn't trying to do what Chelsea's doing and be a week in, week out. But I think if you've got a striker, if I had a Aubameyang scoring all these goals and just taking strikers at face value for what they are, if Aubameyang's getting me 20 league goals plus minimum, 20 league goals minimum, and Tammy can chip in with a respectable double figures in the league and in all comps, then I think that's calm. I think people underestimate. Obviously, Tammy don't want to sit on the bench, but people underestimate football's a squad game. And like you said, he's a good poacher. Sometimes Tammy has scored some vital goals. But anyways, people, second half has kicked off and Chelsea have started strong. Bit overhit from Callum Hudson-Odoi, people. He's having a very positive game. Very positive. I like how Callum's been playing. It don't matter if you slap him right wing back or left wing. He's been doing his thing. I guess he's been taking lessons from Bukayo Saka. But nonetheless, it's still 1-0 to Chelsea over Everton, people. Hey, what did you say? Peter's killing me. 45 minutes and 50 seconds. Peter said, I saw your speech after your loss for your old club the other day. You have a great way of seeing the positives in a negative situation. You have to, man. You got to find the positives you got to find the negatives in the positives. You got to find the positives in the negatives. You got to apply balance, man. You got to want to be better than yesterday. Good ball in from Alonso. Sadly, it hit a sea of Everton shirts. But yeah, man, they kicked me out after I'm basically their Mesut Ozil. Dumb man like Ozil, man. Once again, certain people should just stick to admin and the football people should stick to football. Certain youths are soft. But anyways, less on that, the better, man. Wish them all the best. Think them and they are fifth and that. So, hopefully they can get top four or promoted. Probably get promoted via the actual asking the league the unlegit way. Anyways, people, back to the Everton versus Chelsea game. 46 minutes and 38 seconds in. Michael Keane in possession for Everton. It doesn't seem like Chelsea are as aggressive in the press and that as the first half. Maybe they've changed something. Maybe they're tired. Who knows, people? Why didn't you watch with Rance? I didn't know Rance was doing his thing, but it is what it is. I'll be with Rance on Thursday, man. Why can't I do my thing as well as him? What's the problem? Come on, man. I didn't even know. Shout out Rance, though. Long ball forward from Holgate, people. Zuma's met it. Zuma's done. It's a bit awkward. I don't think he'll make a career of playing on the left-hand side of any centre-half pairing at Chelsea, but he's shown he can play on the right-hand side and do well. Reece James, who's had a boot change at half-time, done quite poor there, I felt. Done very poor there, and it's a throw-in for Chelsea. But this is what I'm saying. Reece James is a good player, but moments like that, you gotta know what you want to do. Very poor there in the final third, and he's got big potential. Bro, everyone, it's upsetting. Well, it's not upsetting because I don't really care about Lampard losing his job, but it is what it is, isn't it, my guy? You're not doing the business after you've got to spend 90 million, 200 million and 90 million on a player, and you're not getting no change out of them. Football's ruthless, and he's no idiot, You went to Chelsea. You used to be in that scenario as a player, so you might as well damn well as known. But I do think Lampard would have learned a lot. He jumped at the deep end. To be fair with you, I think it's a time where he's probably got a look at his management and see what he's done right or wrong, because he didn't get the Derby job off merit. He didn't get the Chelsea job off merit and doing well. He got it because he's Frank Lampard. And it didn't bang. And when the gloss fell over, don't get twisted. I think he can look back and say he done all right. Like, he got top 4 in his first year. I swear that was with the ban and that. So he did do something all right. But he can learn from him. He's a young man. He probably needs to do the Gerrard thing. Big up Gerrard as well. Gerrard went Rangers. He won the league. Young manager. Stay for a couple of years at Rangers. Take gradual steps. I know that Liverpool one will always be there. And the way football is now, it's not really managers managing for 10 years in League One and Championship and then getting the jobs. They're mid-30s and they're managing elite clubs. So that could happen. But you can't underestimate experience. And to be fair, Rangers are out the radar. 49 minutes in, Chelsea still winning 1-0. Jorginho's done very well to evade Allen, people. But as I was saying, he's still young as a manager. He's playing in Europa League. Rangers just the other day, were they not relegated and whatnot? Now they're walking away with the league title, people. And I think their next game's against Celtic, so they're going to rub it in their face. There's a lot for him to learn. And you look at Brendan Rodgers, maybe he took the Liverpool job too soon. So there's something for him to learn. I can't lie, it's a joy to watch Chelsea build out from the back, and they've done that very well today, people. Very well. I think Chelsea have had a very good game, man. It is where it is. Please make sure you hit the like button, people. I need to make sure I'm actually writing notes down for this game, people, because as you lot know, it's the DG podcast. I review all the Premier League action. We talk about some neutral points, speak about football more so from a neutral point of view. So as usual, if you're on Spotify, tomorrow, the latest edition of the Deluded podcast is out. Make sure you're hitting those like buttons, people. Make sure you're hitting those like buttons. But as you lot can see, what Chelsea v Everton. Chelsea, some lovely moves. Not enough efforts from either side. Zuma left centre back. Who else is Callum left wing? Who else has impressed me so far? Christensen. Apologies, people. There you have it. Chelsea have a dead ball scenario. Reece James and Marcos Alonso. Apologies over it, people. Reece James, can he get his delivery on right now? Is this one from the training ground? Oi, ooh, it wasn't Reece James. That one there had me. It's Marcus Alonso in it. It had to be something really good to get that into the top bins. And it looked like it was going in. It probably was. I don't know. It might have been just being missed. It might have crept in. It was a good effort either way. Pickford is making sure it doesn't. Chelsea have taken the corner early, people. Jorginho to Reece James. Reece James, first touch has been very good. It looked like Thingy Aspilicueta was offside there. Play still continued. Reece James, backwards with Christensen. Jorginho, apologies. Kovacic finds Alonso. Chelsea just got to manage this game, people. There's a long while to go, people. Everton need to not get frustrated. 51 minutes and 30 seconds, people, into the game. Not a clue, really. Maybe Kyle Walker, I'd assume. London Derby, Ali, we're going to have to wait till we get closer in the week, man. I'm trying not to think about that. I'll be real with you. Yeah, man. 90 million euros, 70 million. Either way, big money. You spend this money. You've got to justify what you're doing. You know, Roman Abramovich ain't going to just let you spend his money and he's not seeing, you know, the fruits of his labor. So that's why he's lost his role. Aspilicueta to Reece James. Aspilicueta sold Reece James short there, but Reece James has done very well. And again, he sold Reece James short. Well, you know, Reece James has done very well to earn a throw in there. I'd have to have a little word with Aspilicueta. Like, come on, bro. You're passing it when there's that free man on me. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Chelsea 1, Everton 0, 52 minutes and 23 seconds. Once again, Reece James has done well to keep possession. Christensen finds Reece James again. Reece James, Kovacic, Werner's evaded Allen. No, he ain't. Allen's a good tackle from Allen. Lucas has lost possession for Everton. And Chelsea might be able to fashion something here. Kovacic plays a neat 1-2 with Havertz. As Alonso finds Callum. Callum on this left-hand side. Delivers the ball in. Probably not good enough. He looked offside. That should be a goal. He looked offside, but I don't know. VAR will say something. Or was it handball? I don't think it's handball. I think that's a goal, you know. I was saying offside just as a natural instinct, but I think that's a goal. I think that's a goal. 53 minutes in. It's wonderful play from Chelsea for Havertz to eventually finish it. Callum once again. Nah, that's a goal. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, I'm capping. I might be capping, people. I might be capping because I can't lie. The angle they showed again, it did look like a handball. Initially, I didn't think it was. The longer it goes on, the more it's probably going to get chalked off, people. I won't lie. And now this is going to add a fat chunk of time on at the end unnecessarily. Yeah, it's hit his hand, people. It's hit his hand. Yeah, it's hit his hand. He tried to Maradona thing. It's hit his hand. Oh, has he moved his hand closer? I mean, if it's counted, I would like it to count. Just if it is going to count, I'm cool with that purely because it would mean an assist for Callum Hudson-Odoi. His performances have deserved that. And it's a goal kick. A free kick, sorry, apologies. No goal. It is a handball from Havertz. And Callum Hudson-Odoi is denied assist. But it goes on, people. 54 minutes and 31 seconds. Chelsea 1, Everton 1. And I think what Everton can learn from that is follow your runners. You know, nobody was close to Havertz enough. Once again, you cannot let a right footer on the left-hand side cut in, you know. And again, it was too easy for Callum. I know it's easier said than done with a tricky customer like Callum, but Holgate's got to do a bit better. To be fair, Holgate's on a card as well, so he has to tread carefully. Throw in anyways from Chelsea. Well, from Everton, apologies, and Chelsea regain possession. Throw into Chelsea with Kurt Zuma will take the restart. I'd rather Lucas, but Shaw's had a very good passage of form. Who was it that wanted Tom Davies to enter the field with 55 minutes and 17 seconds? He has. Iwobi has left. I think Iwobi done all right defensively. He switched off a bit for the goal, but he hasn't offered anything else. Is what it is, and he looks very disappointed, really and truly. But you got to start. Got a little shift in. Is what it is. 55 minutes and 33 seconds, people. Chelsea 1, Everton 0. Aspilicueta in possession. He finds his right back in Reece James. Good touch from Reece James. Oi, hospital pass from Reece James. Reece James does that a lot. You see what I'm saying? Reece James is a good player, but he needs to. It's about playing at a high level now. You know, it's not Wigan anymore. You can't get away with that in the Prem. And I think once Reece James irons them sort of things out of his game, even better player. Still rate him, though. And I think spare a thought for Chelsea, man. I mean, one thing that could console you with Lamptey leaving is Reece James is there. You can't keep on more. Everton are in possession. Tom Davies and Sigurdsson have played a 1-2. Richarlison, you've got to score that. I thought he put that in. Everton are not going to have many chances, and this is why Chelsea need to score more. You switch off once, and it's peak. Sigurdsson and the new substitute in Davies linked up well. I don't know what Richarlison sees, completely shanks it, moving like them Sunday League beer belly players. And Chelsea are in possession again. Reece James has started a perfect move. Jorginho has played his midfield partner in Kovacic, who has found the oncoming Alonso. The only criticism you can say of Chelsea today, you ain't asked the keeper no questions. That looked like a... What? The one time I think Jorginho's legitimately fouled, that's not a foul. It's crazy. That's a joke. Anyways, people, Pickford in possession. Chelsea 1, Everton 0. Andre Gomez finds his left back in Lucas. Lucas has done some questionable things, and Pickford will just say to Ben Godfrey, forget about it. I'll put my foot through it. Again, like valiant effort from Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but he's one man. Not even Ragnar Lothbrok could do it alone, man. And he eventually had to die at the hands of the English, for those of you who watch Vikings and that. But anyways, 57 minutes and 30 seconds in, people. Chelsea 1, Everton 0. Jorginho has found the oncoming Reece James, who had advanced from fullback. Reece James has tried to live a movie. He tried to give Pickford what I call the snake eyes. Try to act like he's crossing it, look down quickly and bang it. Terrible effort, good intentions, though. I think Reece James been better in the second half, though. I mean, Chelsea, if you want to buy a new right back and loan out Reece James or permanent, you know who to call, man. Got to do a lot better. He shanked it, man. Can we get that up to our 200 likes, people, please? Like my man said, big up Omar. Gomez. You know, I think Everton have lacked it. I think they've missed Decore today, because Decore, for all his technical ability, the ability to just get the ball and drive. You know, they've got technical footballers, but no one's trying to drive. And Decore gives you that raw aggression and technical quality a couple of times. They ain't really got that. Richarlison can do it in bits and pieces, but you have to get it. You have to give it to your strikers. And, you know, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he's been playing rugby today, man. He's just been in fighting things and stuff. Pardon me. Big up CEO. If you know, you know. Andre Gomez in possession, people. Gives it away needlessly. Reece James will clear that up, give it to his teammates. And Chelsea will start another attack. If I say that, they've gone back with Medley. I thought it was on there for Christensen to play it forward there, but is what it is. Wolby, you know what it is with Wolby? He's a bit like Oxen now. I'm seeing you at a different team. You look exactly the same player. I think Wolby needs to go to a team they can play him as that 10, man. And even that, he's not going to get numbers like that. Zuma advancing forward. Finds Alonso, gives it back to Zuma. Zuma, little techie, little 1-2 there. Kovacic, bruv. Kovacic. You see, one aspect of Kovacic's game that's underrated is his dribbling, and I think Chelsea are being a bit silly there. They're playing advantage, but I think the free kick is actually better. Callum Hudson-Odoi, saying that, what do I know? Callum Hudson-Odoi, for me, is probably Chelsea's man of the match. He's coming off that left-hand side once again, and he's banged it. It probably isn't going in. Nonetheless, Pickford has saved it. Let me see on the replay. Hey, that might just be creeping in. Yeah, I don't know, but nonetheless, Pickford hasn't taken a change, man. Terry, we saying now we got Davis on, we should probably, man. That's one thing I would have thought. I would have thought you would have went 2 up top per se, man. I ain't really seen that. It's been a corner played in from Chelsea, and unfortunately for Chelsea, it hasn't amounted to anything. But, you know, it's half an hour left. They're winning 1-0. There probably will be a significant chunk of added on time, at least 4 minutes, I'd say, for VAR alone. 2 minutes, I'd say, for VAR alone. 2 extra minutes based on how the game's gone so far. So I think there's at least an extra 4 or 5 minutes plus the half an hour. So there's a long way to go. Holgate's done very well to play Richarlison in. Richarlison's delivery's been very hit and miss. And he's had one of those days, you know, the delivery is poor there. Ooh, careful. Reece James want to be careful there. It looked like it touched his hand there. And that's it. Everton are at 6s and 7s. Basic communication, lads. Reece James has done very well to make sure it goes out for a goal kick. But between Sigurdsson and Lucas, between the both of them, very experienced, very poor. Chelsea haven't really done anything. Second half, Callum Hudson-Odoi is added to hitting shots on target and things like that. It's really been Callum. I don't think Chelsea are doing enough. And the more they don't score, the more you're giving leeway, people. So they're going to need to do a bit more. But so far, so good from them, I suppose. Please make sure you're hitting the like button as usual, people. At 175, there's 91 of you. I know not all of you have been here from the beginning. So if you hit that like button, we're gone. Christensen has gone back to Mendy to Zuma. Well, apologies. He's actually not played it to Zuma, which I thought was the obvious pass. He's given it to Jorginho, who has found Zuma. Zuma in possession, folks. Forward to Havertz. Havertz been a bit more quieter in this second half than the first. Reece James been more active in the final third for me. Very poor delivery from Reece James. Callum just chasing it, made it look better than it is. Very good game from Callum Hudson-Odoi, man. Lovely to see, man. Deserves it. All that man needed was a platform. For me, he continues it. Probably won't go to the Euros once again, but he'll be playing for England. He's one we need to work on, man. Good player, just needs to play. And you see, when you got a manager who knows what they're doing, no disrespect to Lampard, nobody's saying, oh, but he's playing right wing, but he's now playing on the left. Callum's of the stage of, yes, obviously, evidently, people, he needs to put in consistent performances. Is that right? It's, prove you're worth 100 of the week or whatever he's on. But at the same time, he's at the level. I don't know what Pickford's doing there, but he finds his man. Callum's of the level where the manager has to have confidence that wherever you're going to play, whatever he asks you to do, you're able to do it. And so far, he's done that. He's been given a platform. The only time he hasn't done that, he got clipped after coming on. And that's the reality of football now. Callum's done a lot, man. I like Callum a lot, but removing away from Callum, Michael Keane. Oh, Michael, a good reading of the game from Aspilicueta, man. That's why it's long for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, because if he's not having to compete physically with Zuma and Christensen and all these guys, and he gets past them, bro, David Aspilicueta, Cesar Aspilicueta, Dave, he's onto him. He's on his pocket. Closer to him than probably his lady. Credit to Aspilicueta, and Aspilicueta is getting on by his own standards. You see, when you're intelligent and you can read the game, that buys you a lot of time. Same way a good first touch does. 63 minutes and 25 seconds in. Once again, Chelsea 1, Everton 0. Christensen in possession. Plays it to Zuma. Zuma gives it to Kovacic. Kovacic has played it forward. That's a fantastic pass. That should be 2-0. That's a penalty. It's a penalty. It is a penalty. There was nothing Pickford could do. Firmly a penalty. It's a fantastic run from Havertz. It's a fantastic pass from Kovacic. Pickford did what he could. Maybe VAR will save him. I think it's stonewall penalty. Havertz has had a good game. Been a bit quieter, but he's not stopped running. Yeah. I think that's a pen. That's a pen. I think that's a solid pen. For a pen, and Havertz should be looking to take that. And it's going to be Werner for the confidence. Starting moves from deep. Oh, it's Jorginho. Looks like Werner had the ball initially last time I looked at the screen. Are we going to see that classic hop from Jorginho? 64 minutes and 38 seconds played, people. The chance to give Chelsea that welcomed daylight, people. Jorginho steps up, feint, hops, does him. And Pickford, well understandably frustrated. It was a tame effort from Jorginho, but he's done him. He's given him the eyes. Pickford is, he's giving it away. But again, I wouldn't even, as much as I Pickford's someone I look at, I don't think it's his fault. They haven't, you could see the run from Havertz, you could see the run. And just as we said, man, Kovacic is a baller, man. The only thing you could say with Kovacic is maybe he could get goals, but amazing. Like my man said, if I knew what that was, it sounds like a good analogy, but yeah, like that, man. To be fair, the saddest thing is Pickford's done all right this season. He's done all right this game, but it's just a pen. You could see it from, you could see from Jorginho had the ball. You could see, I said it. You could see Havertz's run. They didn't pick up his run. Even before that, the penalty incident. What did I say? They didn't pick up Havertz's run. Callum Hudson-Odoi is coming off. I'm not even a Chelsea guy, but I rate the man. Them shout out to the IC3s and that. Callum did your thing today. Another Cobham boy also does his thing. Mason Mount. I always see you with Chunks and that. Shout out Chunks, but you need to start, when you score, going in the camera saying people deluded, giving some plugs and that. But yeah, Mount's on. Further good understanding of the management. It must be nice seeing players playing their key roles, the players that deserve to play start, correct substitutions at the right time. It must be amazing, man, to see all of this sort of stuff. But you need time to install that. Anyways, people, Chelsea 2, Everton 0, 66 minutes and 30 seconds played, people. Yeah, Tom, tonight's been the bad day at Everton, man. But it's disappointing because you ain't done enough. Way before you talk about how good or bad Chelsea were, like I always say of Arsenal, Everton have engineered their own mistakes here. And it's games like this, it's mad. He definitely wasn't reaching that. He was done. He got done, man. He got done. You can tell that's one of them. Jorginho gave him the eyes. Christensen to Jorginho. You see, it must be nice having a centre midfielder receiving the ball in a dangerous area, being aware of runners and releasing it straight away. Look at Jorginho. My word. Must be nice, fam. But fans will get horny because of someone that takes 30 minutes on the ball to play a long pass. Anyways, Kovacic in possession. Finds Kurt Zouma. Hey, why is everybody falling on the floor? Is Zouma good? I think Zouma injured himself. He slipped and he looks like he's corralled himself still. I hope that's nothing serious because, it's always them injuries where nothing's happened to you is concerning. Hope it's just cramp or it looked like he slipped. Calammed himself. Trust me, bruv. The only criticism, you can say Kovacic could get goals. The man can, like I was saying, the one aspect of his game I think is very underappreciated is the dribble. Like I said with Everton earlier, I think they're missing the core. Look at Ndombele for Spurs. Look at Evo. There's not really any at Arsenal, but with Saka and Smith Rowe to a degree, just driving with a ball. Even Willian, for the goal. Ironically, it's mad. Big up yourself, Sebastian, man. Aye, big up yourself, Military Gooner, man. I appreciate you for being a fan since them days there. We've come quite a long way from them ones there, man. It's very unfortunate, Jaden. Very unfortunate. But to be fair, Chelsea don't lie down forever. They have one bad season, 18 months, and then they're back at it, really. Like what? Did they not finish 7th, 8th one year? Then I think Conte won the league, and they don't. That's one thing I admire about Chelsea. They don't sit down for long. Like Roman isn't on accepting mediocrity and nonsense for long. Must be nice. Oh, London is still red though, man. Josh King. Some of you said you couldn't believe Josh King was at Everton. You didn't know. He's coming. He's entering the fray. He enters the fray instead of Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson's been quite anonymous. Big up, Dean. He is. Even when Partey does it, it must be nice. But, Partey's never fit, unfortunately. So we're back to square one. No. Must be nice, man. But the difference between certain teams and Chelsea, you've actually got competent players that above everything are street smart. Before you talk about Jorginho, Kovacic, and all these guys, they're effing street smart. They'll know not to play a certain pass in certain areas. Valiant effort from Mount, lost out physically, but is able to earn a throw-in. And Werner looks to take it quickly. I haven't said Werner's name too tough. Been quite missing. Last 20 minutes of the game, people. Kovacic has flicked it out to Christensen. It's now over here with Zouma. How many likes are we on now, people? Have we closed in? 186 likes, people. Keep running that one there up, please. We're closing in on 200, and with 20 minutes to go, we're set up perfectly for it. Chelsea 2, Everton 0, 70 minutes and 25 seconds. Reece James to Mason Mount. Cobham link-ups. Mason Mount, apologies, found Werner who was thrown off it, and Everton could break here. Gomez tries to play it in behind once again. Aspilicueta reads the game. He's playing chess, not checkers. Cuts it out and Chelsea can advance. Havertz to Jorginho, goal scorer of the second, to Kovacic, involved in the incident which led to the penalty. Mason Mount, generally been playing well. Reece James, who's, played much better in the second half, in my opinion. Aspilicueta now. Even the pensioners want to come out and do the things, them. Lost the ball, but it is what it is. You should be happy with the performance, really. Like I said, the only thing you can say about Chelsea is you didn't really work Pickford enough. You've scored one goal from open play. That's it. And for a team like you, with the way you lot have been playing, you should be cutting them up. But assuming you walk away with a clean sheet, 3-0, clean sheet, extra brownie points for going against Carlo Ancelotti and a team fighting for top 4 and all those sort of things. And more importantly than that, obviously, further cement top 4 hopes and staying fourth at this moment in time. Big clearance from Reece James and Cole, further cementing fourth. And also, obviously, taking points off your top 4 rivals. Ben Godfrey should be given a free kick there, but it's gone out for a goal kick, I believe. Ben Godfrey has saved Everton's bacon. If he messed it, last man, if a madness happened there, it would have been peak. I definitely thought that was a free kick. If Ben Godfrey went and done that to Havertz, he'd probably be sent off for being last man. Bit of a joke there, but anyways, it is what it is. Chelsea 2, Everton 0. 72 minutes and 6 seconds played, people. Don't forget, it's Watchalong business every evening, people. Tomorrow, I think I've scheduled it for 7:30. At the end of this live stream, it will redirect you. It's Borussia Dortmund versus Seville. Forget all of that, as Andre Gomez valiantly, he's tried to carry the fight for everything. I think he's one of the only ones I think really kept trying and not really could ask for anything more. Chelsea dealt with a threat in the box. Kovacic almost put a ball in a dangerous area. Referee never. Plays continued. And Everton still have possession. Allen to Davis. Davis finds Mason Holgate on this right-hand side. 1-2 between Holgate and Davis doesn't bang, but Holgate does what he can to evade Alonso from seeing it out. And it's falling back here with Everton. Now Keane will keep it alive. Allen. Josh King finds Tom Davis. Substitute to substitute. Tom Davis. You need to come out of that area. There's too much man there. Allen. First time. Plays it a bit behind Gomez, but he plays it to Gomez nonetheless. And look at the shape from Chelsea. This is the wickedest thing about playing Chelsea. It is what it is. Personally, I'd be instructing my team to go forward. At this point, I'd rather lose 4-1 than 3-0, or 3-1 than 2-0. I'd rather go for a goal, at least mash up their clean sheet, just so Tuchel has something to analyze properly tomorrow, or he'll just firmly be switching their focus to whoever Chelsea are playing next, man. I appreciate you guys Peter, thank you very much, first of all, for appreciating the work rate. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, because it's all pointless if you don't, content upon content upon content. Yeah, man, Gomez don't pull it in enough. As much as I'm saying he's putting his shift, I'm not a fan of praising midfielders for working hard. That being said, a very good corner from Everton. No one gambling. Still out here with Everton, people. The game's being played in Chelsea's half now in the 74th minute mark. Chelsea are comfortable, They'll probably get a third if they keep allowing Everton to do this. Saying that, though, that looks to be a corner. Josh King done very well against Zuma. Good contest. Physically, both men tried to outstrength the other, and it's a myth. Nonetheless, it's another corner for Everton. And at least Everton, if you get a goal, you never know. At least you can make it nervy towards the end for Chelsea. You never know what could happen, but you need to score. And they've got enough threats from set pieces. You've got big old Ben Godfrey. You've got Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You got Michael Keane as well. Holgate. You got threats still. But the delivery has to be spot on, and it's a half-decent delivery. And, it's whistle pass everywhere. I think it's a foul on the keeper. I don't know who fouled him or how he's fouled, or if that actually is a foul, but how? Good delivery. What's he given against? Oh, inadvertently, it's not intentionally, it's the ball's whistle past everyone, and Mendy's been crashed into by Ben Godfrey, a biohazard of it. Another substitute from Everton, 75 minutes on the clock for the last 15-odd minutes. Andre Gomez, who Terry doesn't think is good enough, and deservedly so, leaves the fray, and on comes and entering the fray is Bernard, the Brazilian, the experienced Brazilian. And again, if he can do what he can, be a positive influence off the bench, do what you can to complicate things and make it nervy in these closing exchanges. Like I said, there surely is at least 4 or 5 minutes added on So there's at least 20 minutes technically left, and that's enough time to do several things. You know, if it was Lampard's Chelsea, you probably could win it 2-2, but get a 2-2 something out of it, and you know, somewhat. But Tuchel, German efficiency, forget about it. Tom Davies tries to do the Gerrard thing and crashes it into a Chelsea man. And Everton could break. Everton could be broken on here. Mason Mount, acres of space. Can he pick out the right pass? I think he's being a bit selfish there, needlessly checking in and out. Tom Davies and Mason Mount having a bit of handbags there. And Everton could advance on Chelsea now. Bernard, substitute, needs to get into the game and get into the game very quickly. Lucas at left back in possession. Loses it needlessly. Never a foul. And again, Everton could counter. I don't know what Allen was doing there. Some wild slide tackle. But Mason Mount has acres of space. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Carlo Ancelotti is going to do a madness to you lot. Mason Mount should have done better. They should have scored that third there. I can't believe what I'm seeing from Everton there, people. I can't believe the amount of strolling. You know, Mason Mount had the kingdom of the city. I know he's a Cobham boy. I know he wants to be captain. And I know by that logic, Stamford Bridge is his pitch. But you don't need to let him just walk through you lot. Ridiculous. Only Tom Davies trying to sprint. I can't believe what I just saw. I'm not even an Everton fan, and that makes me crazy. Anyways, people, 76 minutes, better yet, 77 minutes on the clock, people. Chelsea 2, Everton 0. Jorginho to Kovacic. Kovacic has been very good in midfield for me. Jealous that but I'm jealous of every midfielder Chelsea got. I wouldn't mind a bit of Mason Mount for my team, Jorginho for my team because he can pass the ball forward. Kovacic would be the highest recommendation. Well, Kante as well. He's not even a part of this. Oh, Zuma, a fantastic turn that a midfielder would have been part of, people. Ndombele S from Zuma. Brought down, though. Chelsea will take it quickly. 77 minutes and 35 on the clock. Alonso has played it back to Zuma, who, you know, fantastic. I know Zuma would fancy himself as a midfielder if he could. Christensen, new lease of life for him, and he's doing quite well. Kovacic. Havertz. Jorginho. Mount. Been positive since he's come off the bench. Cobham graduate in Reece James to Mount. Reece James sold him a bit short, but Reece James manages to keep that in. And Everton look tired, man. Everton are shattered, man. I know they've had a lot of games recently. They had a midweek game against West Brom, I'm sure last week. They've had a lot of games. Anyways, people, King found it to Holgate. 78 minutes on the clock, people. 20 seconds of that. Michael Keane sold Werner a dream. Centre halves are fancying themselves. Joshua King has been very good off the bench, people. Look at the strength. Very good play off the bench from him. Done good little bits of pieces to just keep possession for Everton. The problem is there's a sea of blue shirts from Chelsea. You know, Tuchel wants that clean sheet. If you don't get that clean sheet, it's not that it doesn't matter that he doesn't win, but I think you lot will not get a day off tomorrow. Mason Mount's won a lovely foul from Everton, and that will allow this team to get further up the pitch, kill any potential momentum. Speaking of killing momentum and seeing out results, N'Golo Kante will be entering the fray. Not too sure at this moment in time who he is coming on for. He's coming on for Kovacic for these last 11 minutes. Kovacic has had a very good game. You know, Kante's job, just win the ball back. Mount, in the same way Mount's meant to go in there, you know, try to get some goals and assists, but mainly win fouls and dictate and make those runs. Ben Godfrey versus Werner. Ben Godfrey's lost out. Terrible. Pickford has bailed them out. Ben Godfrey's the complete wrong side. Terrible. I don't know how that was let in. Ben Godfrey, I love Ben Godfrey as a baller. That is terrible. And again, that's fundamentally come from Everton, unaware of the runners. You know, Ben Godfrey misjudged the bounce of that ball. That should be a goal. And that was calamitous defending from everyone. And I'd actually say for Lucas as well, he's not even back in defense. Where's the left back? Werner, that's very poor from him. Is what it is. And Chelsea have improved, you know, 14 attempts, 5 on target, people. Ooh, and Zuma does well to climb. Not enough power on it. Into the hands of Pickford. And has Pickford's elected to throw it to... Oh, he's fouled. Good throw to Josh King. He's knocked it down for Holgate. Holgate plays King. King will come forward with it. Finds Ben Godfrey, who look shattered. They're all a couple of Everton players look shattered, man. And again, Ben Godfrey's standards are really dropping now, and he's you know, that's a handball of Kante. Ben Godfrey's giving the ball away needlessly. It's about keeping your standards when you're tired. 80 minutes on the clock, people. There looks like there's a third goal in here for Chelsea, and Kante's won it. Kante, Werner. Never a penalty. Werner should be looking to pass that, really. Bernard, apologies, can break. Bernard, you know, one thing about Jorginho, he's easy to brush past, and he shows it there. Bernard, the ball into the runner in King wasn't good enough. And now Chelsea can break. And again, standards are dropping for both teams because both people are starting to become tired. There's 9 minutes left, people. 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Chelsea in possession. Azpilicueta's touch is heavy. He's done well to just pop it off to Reece James regardless, though. It's about managing the game. Azpilicueta. Again, standards are dropping, you know. 5-yard passes between Reece James and Cole, and they're struggling to do that. Big up the Twitch gang. I'm good, my guy. I hope you're doing well and safe as well. Big up everyone on Twitch. Deludaguna 187 for those of you that are interested in the Twitch business. $82 minutes and 5 seconds on the clock, people. Jorginho tries to play it forward into Alonso, probably asking way too much of Marcus Alonso there, and it goes out for an Everton goal kick. Everton 0, Chelsea 2, 82 minutes on the clock, people. We're at 197 likes, 3 more likes, and just in time we've hit our goal of 200 likes, so please make sure you're doing that one. In relation to score predictions, my guys, we have to get into that later, man. That's a Wednesday thing, Tuesday thing or something, man. It's a bit early, and right now I'm focusing on Everton Chelsea. But anyways, Bernard in possession finds Richarlison, who absolutely twisted Azpilicueta. There's been a couple bits of good technical play from both sides, I'll be real. Josh King delivers a ball into the box, overhit on massive proportions, and it will go out for a Chelsea goal kick. 83 minutes on the clock, 7 minutes left, people. Carlo Ancelotti still barking instructions, still got a lot to say, and deservedly so. Standards have dropped. Everton are lucky they ain't lost this 4-0 based on the second half. 198 likes, people. We're moving ever closer to 200 likes. I wonder what's happening in the other Premier League game, people. Let me go back. I'm sure, has Mendy not been booked for delaying these goal kicks yet? Why he's doing that, I don't know. But fair play. Trying to look at... Where's the fixtures, man? Not results, fixtures. Apologies, people. Marcus Alonso looks like he's done now. I don't know if he's got cramp or what. But he's made the most of the foul, but he's holding his hamstring. Oh, so it looks like he's inadvertently, the run's been stopped. Or maybe he's wasting it. I don't know, man. It looked like he was holding his hamstring. He even got me with that lies, man. All right, big up yourself for being the 200th like. Let's keep that one going. Can we now get to 201, people? Can we get 210? Oh, crap. No wonder there's no West Ham result, because West Ham versus Leeds is after this, people. So we'll see what's happening in that game. Man City versus Southampton could be a good game this week, people. Anyways, people, 84 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. Chelsea 2, Everton 0. And again, it's been a bit of the last 10 minutes has been quite atrocious. You probably wouldn't even see this down at Hackney Marshes, really, mainly from Everton. I can't believe some of the misplaced passes. Saying that, good little bit of play there now. Godfrey has found his centre-half partner in Michael Keane. Not much on. Finds Davis. Davis has looked decent since he's come off the bench. Saying that, he's been dispossessed and Chelsea have to get the third there. That's Werner. And Werner has missed. It's Kante and N'Golo. N'Golo's missed. That should be the third for Chelsea. You know, stupid. I can't believe the amount of schoolboy errors Everton are making in the second half. The amount of schoolboy errors from Everton second half. Can't follow runners, like. can't believe this. Like Kante, obviously, Kante, as great as Kante is, Kante is probably the one player you don't want it to fall to there, and you just know it's not going to go in. But Chelsea, as a result, in these last 5 minutes of the game, 85 minutes and 40 seconds, have a set piece. Mount's delivered it. The corner isn't quite good enough. It is headed out, however, by Richarlison for a throw-in by Chelsea. And they don't appear to be in a rush. It's just not going to be Werner's day, is it, you know? Just not Werner's day. Very unfortunate, can't lie. To be fair, Pickford's made a couple of saves. You know, he messed up for the pen, but he's helped them a lot. Mount to Jorginho, Aspilicueta. Richarlison's found Davis. Davis has not found Calvert-Lewin, and it will be a Chelsea throwing. That's probably how Everton feel, people, as we get to the dying embers, and Chelsea will just take the sting out of the game. You know, Reece James is good for that time wasting. He'll be in no rush to take it. Yeah, man, I think that's probably the best. The problem is you do need an out-and-out striker, though, for games 9 times out of 10. That's probably why, ironically, probably allegedly in the market, you know, Werner. I don't know what's going to happen with Werner because I think, you know, even if I think he'll come good, I don't know, but I think he will start scoring some goals, at least, people. You know, they got him for what, 30, 40, whatever. They didn't pay much for Werner. Surely he can make that back. Everton in possession, people. Keane has found Ben Godfrey. Lucas at left back. 83 minutes on the clock. Richarlison, good ball. Ben Davis, better ball. Bernardo, terrible shot. Completely got under it. Completely sliced it. Terrible. I think Tom Davis has looked decent off the bench. Not gonna lie, in more of an attacking sense as well. Like he looked more, you know, for me, when you see Davis, you know it's about fighting. He is decent technically, but it's about the fighting and the winning the ball back and the tigerish tackling sort of thing. But he's done good with a little bit of these little flicks he's been integrating into his game today. Goal kick for Chelsea, and Mendy will take this. It looks like Mendy will go long for a change. 87 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock, people. Mendy has gone long. Alonso misses out from Holgate. Michael Keane will contest, and Zuma will see that out. And once again, it is a Chelsea throw on, people. Zuma won't be in any rush to take it. You know, once again, it's looking like the perfect result for Chelsea. What's that? 11 games unbeaten under Thomas Tuchel. Another clean sheet. Pulisic is coming on, by the way. Another clean sheet, like I said. Havertz is off. Another 4 points clear of Everton, taking points off a top 4 rival, continuing to win. You know, clean sheet as well, assuming it stays the same. They've done everything they needed to do. And, you know, Havertz, rather than walk off in the nearest occasion, he's elected to stay on. I don't know what, there appears to be confusion. I think maybe Havertz thought he was being subbed. What's going on? I can't hear the commentary, so I don't know what's going on. Pulisic on, Havertz off. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Tuchel said not to do it. I don't know, people. Got to feel bad for Werner. Not really, because my sympathy's capped this season. Arsenal not doing well. If you're not Arsenal Football Club, I don't really care. Everton have had a lot of fixtures, and they do appear to be tired. Oh, saw a tackle from Alonso on Tom Davis. From Tom Davis on Alonso, apologies. You know, it's not a game unless Tom Davis does one of those. Bit of stealing that. Completely sliced him down the back of him. That's why I can't lie. I like players like that, man. He's under that sort of thing there, man. Yellow card for Davis. He's probably been one of Everton's brightest players. Pulisic has now entered the fray, people. Who he's come on for, don't have a clue. Werner. It's been for Werner. Well, at least you got 89 minutes, Werner. He played substantially. Can't complain. Pulisic. Oh, got his head back hit there by accident. It's got a bit scrappy, but nonetheless, Zuma has won it. Allen has won it in possession. Allen's tried. Looked a bit lethargic, but he's tried. Lucas's delivery hasn't been good enough. Bernardo's been quite poor off the bench. We're into the last 90, people. I'm not too sure how long it is in terms of added on time. Surely 4 or 5 minutes. Michael Keane. Holgate. Pickford. Long ball from Pickford forward. Who has he played it to? Lucas. Loses out to N'Golo Kante. Kante can drive now. Kante to Pulisic, use your sub. Go on, man. Ain't going to be too many times. Terrible. Terrible. He's tried to kick it and run. He's forgot to bring himself, much less the ball. I was saying 4 or 5 minutes. It's 4 minutes of added on time. We're into the last 90 people. Please make sure you're getting in those like buttons and also subscribing if you haven't, people. Big up all the members that have been in here as well. Everton's quality on the ball has been terrible and it's shown again. Everton terrible on the ball. You know, I think King, you know, the only positive has been Josh King and Davis off the bench. You know, they've been two of your best players, in my opinion. I don't think Pickford's played bad. He only messed up for the pen. He's bailed them out. They're tired, man. This is where, you know, Everton are going to have to learn for next season if they miss out on top 4 because, again, squad depth is important. Pulisic could potentially add a third. Like I said, if I'm Tuchel, I'm not that you're looking for negatives where there are none, but you should be getting a third. Saying that Kante's won it, it's gone out for a goal kick, but they should have got a third. I don't think they've really shot enough. I think Chelsea could have killed this in the first 20, but other than that, near perfect performance, really and truly. Near enough a perfect performance. One open play goal as well. Yeah, people, last 2 minutes. As usual, I appreciate everybody that's been here, people. Reece James with advance. Good run from Reece James. Good run. Good run from Reece James. No support. Where's the man's support? Touch killed him. He still got it. Ah, nice. An Everton throw. Is it? I thought it was an Everton throw, but it looked like he's giving it to James. Good run. He had no one backing it. Last minute and a half for Everton, people. Michael Keane. Eyes up the long ball forward. Doesn't do it. Keeps trying to carry it. Keeps in possession. And Pulisic is the latest player to slip on the floor, people. What's up with the pitch? Aimless pass from Michael Keane forward. It falls to Reece James. And really, you know, last minute, really. You don't need to, just calm down. Good little play from Jorginho. Gives it to Christensen. Finds Zuma, apologies. Forgot who the player's name was. Professional job from Chelsea. Professional job. Clean sheet. Another win. 4 points off your rivals. And they might be able to get the third here. Mason Mount strikes. Big save from Pickford. And is it going to go out for a corner? I don't think so. Again, you know, I think Pickford has saved them. I think Hudson-Odoi, you know, Callum was very good, man. Very good. Man of the match for me, as a neutral watching this game, I would say Callum Hudson-Odoi for me. I think he head and shoulders wise on the field, he was positive. You know, he really gave Holgate something to work with. He's involved in the goal. I think he was good. I wouldn't say Havertz was man of the match, but he could have got it. For me, I think he's done very well. I think Azpilicueta, Alonso, Christensen all were very good in the game, people. So man of the match for me probably be Callum Hudson-Odoi. But all in all, it's a clean sheet for Tuchel. I'm sure that's 11 wins now. It's another clean sheet. It's a vital 3 points. You know, it goes 4 points clear of Everton and Carlo Ancelotti's men. They've done what they've needed to do. You know, congratulations to Chelsea, commiserations to Everton, innit? It is what it is, people, in that regards, people. I appreciate everybody that's been tuned in, man. I really appreciate all of you lot, man. So, yeah, man, like I said, next live stream will probably be 11:30 a.m. If you're just wanting to know the watch-alongs and things like that, then the next one will be in the Champions League for Borussia Dortmund versus Seville. Please make sure you hit the like button on this. Please make sure you hit the like button on that. Once again, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Make sure you check out or looking out on Spotify and Apple for the Deluded podcast coming out tomorrow, people. Typically a Tuesday and a Friday. Apple, Spotify, and the rest of it, as I said. And on that note, make sure you're following me on all the necessary socials. Links in the description. More importantly than that, people, stay safe. I'm out, man. I appreciate everybody that's been locked in. Hit the like button. Chelsea 2, Everton 0. It's been a fantastic watch along. I appreciate you lot that have tuned in. I'm out.